Well, happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy 4th of July. No matter where you're watching right now, all around the world, all around the country, everyone, I think, in different countries as well, supports and celebrates the 4th of July here in America. I can't thank you enough for being with us. Another episode of Intermission. Why did I name it Intermission? Well, intermission is when you take a brief pause, a brief period away from the typical, I guess you could say, game plan and or curriculum and or viewing event that you've been participating in. So it's just a break from your day-to-day activities, a break from your day-to-day life, from the monotonous stresses that you might face. That's why I named it Intermission here. Huge shout out once again to everybody watching from all over the world. 4th of July. If you're watching right now with your fireworks and your family, I hope that you enjoy it. Be safe, drive responsibly. If you're watching right now at work, huge shout out to you. Huge shout out to my graveyard night shift crew. I love the graveyard. I love the graveyard shift. I always have. Less people, less stress, less drama. 40 people already watching. Shout out to all of our channel members. We have a great show planned tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're not going to go necessarily as hard as we usually do. I say that, and we're probably going to end up going really hard, to be honest with you. We have a great message, great message tonight. Before we actually get started with our typical, I guess you could say, spiels, before we just dive deep into it, I'm going to go ahead and cover a couple of the pop news articles in the beginning of this stream, and I'll start doing this in the rest of the live streams as well, just so we can kind of get into this and acclimate ourselves smoothly into the waters. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of stories. Let's take a look at a couple stories that piqued my interest. The first story has to do with Chris Brown. Chris Brown, happy 4th of July to everybody in the chat. Chris Brown, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw, I don't know if you heard, but Chris Brown was recently seen at the LeBron James Six Flag promotional event for the Space Jam movie. That's right. They're making another Space Jam. And a lot of celebrities were there to support it. Chris Brown was one of them. Get a load of this. If you're an audio listener, you're not going to see this video, but I'll try and describe it as best as I can for you. This is Chris Brown meeting LeBron James at Six Flags a couple of days ago. All right, so if you can't watch this once again, what we're looking at is a very off-looking Chris Brown. They're suspecting that he's on some kind of drugs of some sort. Not sure. He's looking around. He's looking a little crazy right there. We'll play it one more time. Pray for Chris Brown, ladies and gentlemen. He's going through something. What I believe to be one of the greatest talents of our generation right there. The next Michael Jackson. Our Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, ladies and gentlemen. 50 people already watching, 52 people already watching. As you come into the room, make sure that you like the channel, make sure that you like the stream. Got to give a huge shout out to Bejik, our channel super moderator. Here's the link to donate. If you want to donate on Cash App or on PayPal, you are more than free, and I welcome all donations. This should be a lot better quality for this live stream. I've upgraded my internet connection, so it turns out that the internet connection has a lot to do with the quality of your live stream, just as much as the camera can do, based off of how much bandwidth you're using. For the quality of live that you're uploading, your internet can hinder the quality. So this should look clear and clear throughout. Let me know as we continue on in the chat. Let's move on. And ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. In our last live stream. We asked the question, where are the Moors? Where are the Kangs? Where are they? Where'd they go? Well, wouldn't you have it, by fate and by chance, ladies and gentlemen, our prayers, our questions have been answered. We have found the Moors, and it turns out they had an armed standoff with the Massachusetts State Police on I-95. If you heard that, that was a firework outside of my house. Let's watch this video here. For the audio listeners, I'm not going to be able to necessarily describe this as the video will, but I'll do my best, all right? We found the Moors. We found the Kangs, ladies and gentlemen. They led a movement called Rise of the Moors. Let's watch and listen to them really quickly, explain why they're doing what they're doing on the middle of the highway in the wee hours of the morning.
It is July 3rd, 2021. We are in North America, Morocco. We are on the Interstate 95 near...
Now, he says North America, Morocco. I have no idea where that is or what that means, but they're in Massachusetts, so...
exit 57.4. The mile marker is right near this police vehicle, which they're going to be moving it soon, and I'll be able to walk up because I don't want them to think anything funny. But in fact, I'll just show you for the record, because we already assured them and public peace, and I specified how we were just traveling through. We weren't going to stop, and we weren't going to stop at any.
So here we have a black man that looks to be dressed in some kind of military outfit, or I don't know what exactly they're doing. Apparently they had guns on them and all kinds of different types of stuff. And this all has to do with why we're talking about today and what I'm talking about, what the title is today. Just bear with me. We'll watch a couple more minutes of this.
Massachusetts, near exit 57, mile marker 57.4. They specified in the news that we're anti-government, but we're not. We're not anti-government. We're not anti-police. We're not sovereign citizens. We're not black identity extremists. I specified multiple times to the police that we're abiding by the peaceful journey laws of the United States, federal courts. So just look up Title 18 of the United States Code, the Supreme Court, and things like that.
All right. So a bunch of political jargon. This event was called the Rise of the Moors. All right. So there are the Moors, ladies and gentlemen. We found them. All of 11 of them were arrested by the Massachusetts State Police, and they are awaiting trial for whatever charges they're going to pend up on them. And this is going to lead into our next point here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and dive in. 74 people watching on this 4th of July special episode. I have a serious question. What are the Moors doing, right? Where exactly are they patrolling? What is their purpose? This reminds me of a group led by a man that calls himself Grandmaster J, almost like the rapper or some sort, right? Grandmaster J. He leads a group of men called the NFAC, black men, wouldn't you know it, all together joining arms for I guess you could say, bringing awareness to the evil white man in 2021. Right. One more video to watch as we dive into this. What is the NFAC?
I'm talking to NFAC members only at this point. Black boots, black pants, black button-down shirt, black mask, shotgun, semi-automatic.
All right. The NFAC stands for the Not Effing Around Crew, or clique, depending on how you want to take it. They're protesting police killings of black people. All right. That's them right there. We'll play a little bit more without this audio so I don't get audio copyright struck. Look at all these black men holding their big guns and really pro-blackness right here. Look at the pro-blackness. They're fists in the air, walking down communities that have not threatened them in the least or the slightest, walking down communities that seem to be white occupied. It's a government building you see in the background here, somehow trying to prove themselves as if they're really pro-black. We've spoken about the lack of brotherhood that black men really have, but when it comes down time to unifying with something that really has no matter, when it comes down time to unifying for something that ultimately does more destruction than good, than progress, black men are all for it. Now, I know a lot of you might say, well, why are you going so hard on them, Truth? They're trying to actually fight for the black community. Well, the reason I'm going hard on these Negroids is where the hell is the NFAC in the hood? I don't see any NFAC members in Chicago or Detroit or Dallas or Fort Worth or Section 8 or Zone 6 in Atlanta. Why is it that somehow when it comes to white people, they're able to patrol? When it comes to white people, the few white officers that kill black men, some of them and a lot of them justifiably, might I add, why is it that somehow they'll make it seem like they really want the smoke for the white men? And when in reality, they don't have any smoke for the white men. Right? They're not going to harm police officers. You better believe that. Right? But aside from that, where's the smoke for the actual villains of the communities, for the actual gang members and thugs? Where's the community policing and progress in their NFAC or black men? How is it that the white men are the ones that own a police system? How is it that black men haven't unified together to be their own police system within the dilapidated environments that most black people grow up in? That is embarrassing. Negroids, and you want to know how they don't even know about guns, right? At one of their rallies, a round went off. One of the guys shot the ground, and everybody went scattering and running. I thought y'all were ready for war. One bullet shot, and everybody goes crazy and haywire. Everybody's looking around. Was that you, man? Was that you? Yeah. You better know your enemy and know your enemy well, my black kings. Because there are some men out there, there are some grizzly mountain men out there who do not fear gunfire, who go to the military knowing that they want to go to the military at age 10 and 11. Those are the men you're trying to align yourself and as enemies against. You better know your enemy quite well. You better know yourself even better. NFAC, not effing around crew. Let's move into this discussion today. Newsflash. It's not white men that are breaking into homes on Martin Luther King Boulevard. It's not white men that are doing drive-bys on the south side of Chicago. The last live stream, one of our users commented that there were nearly 80 people shot in 1 week in Chicago. And where is the NFAC? We've got video of actually one of these shootings. Prepare, the audio is a bit distressing. It doesn't show anything, so you share it at YouTube. Please don't ban me and ban my account. But let's listen to this. This is a shooting of a young woman who ended up dying a couple of days ago.
Another baby, Lord. What's going on?
I see no NFAC members. So let me just bring some statistics and some numbers out to you, Negroids, all right? Less than, 30, I think, black men died at the hands of police officers in gunfire last year. Here we have a weekend in Chicago where 80 men, I don't know, maybe it's more, I don't know my numbers, but I can tell you it's not as many people that have gotten shot in Chicago over this past weekend. By the way, July 4th in Chicago, if you don't know, is the most deadly weekend of all time because they use fireworks as excuses and as, I guess you could say, explanations to loud noises. So when the police are called, they assume that it's fireworks, right? And so gangs are riding the streets right now actively in the south side of Chicago, making sure that they smoke on their ops. I saw no NFAC members patrolling the streets of Chicago in this video. None whatsoever. Would you imagine that? Let's listen to this one more time. If you're watching on if you're listening to audio only, it's a car that's parked in the middle of the street with the doors open. It has a couple bullets in the windshield. And everybody's running around panicking because there's a young woman in there bleeding out. I think she was a teenager.
Another baby, Lord. What's going on?
Happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy 4th of July. We're continuing our message of truth and exposing the Negroids that continue to plague our communities. If you'd like to donate, once again, make sure that you donate. It supports this channel. I just bought some faster internet. Like I said, it costed money, but without y'all, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Just got this cool little layout going on here. Without y'all, I would not have been able to do this, right? Where's the NFAC? Where's the community policing? You see, white men created the community policing to make sure that their areas remain clear of degeneracy. White men created police to make sure that those who tried to wreak havoc in their neighborhoods would be scooped right the hell up. The white man is the one who shows up when you call 911, even in the hood. Why haven't black men created community lookouts for Chicago? Why haven't black men created neighborhood watches for the areas that are afflicted within their communities? Here in Texas, it's actually legal to arm oneself, and under the stand your own ground law, self-defense is justifiable defense when used legally and properly. Did the NFAC start policing hoods, ghettos, projects, and crime-ridden environments? Did the Moors start a community lookout for Section 8s, food banks, churches, and afflicted areas? Did you Hotep Negroids who claim that you're so ready for the smoke for white men? Did you Hotep Negroids really want the smoke for our main enemies, which are your fellow Negroids? No, of course not. And black men wonder why the racists laugh at them. How is it that millions of black men are pro-black, yet I have yet to see one single entity or collective made up of black men that protect a black neighborhood? I don't see a single one. I have yet to see a single version of policing and police service type operations that seeks to rid the community of the destruction that has plagued it since the late 70s. Not one. Let me put my watch on. Let you niggas know what time it is. How you as a black man twist the words out of your mouth to destroy the image of black women and children, yet claim that you are pro-black. Let me say this again. How you as Negroids twist the words out of your mouth and claim that you're pro-black when in the same sentence disparage and demonize your black women is beyond me. I want our community to do better. Before our community to do better, we gotta get the women, because the women when they be having the kids, the women, because most of the time. But you're pro-black. How the hell does that work? How do you destroy the image of black women and their children, yet claim that you are pro-black? I'll open up the panel in about 30 minutes. You can let me know if you're watching my Negroid. You want to see something crazy? You want to see something crazy? I might have lied earlier. I found one group of black men who actually are looking to give back to the community, who preach something along the lines of what I was saying. And you're not going to believe who it is. You're not going to believe it. This was fascinating to me. What you're looking at right now is a man named C-Mac DeLoke. C-Mac DeLoke is a gang member from 55th Street in a section in Los Angeles. If you can't tell, he's about that life. But what's interesting is I found this guy, and I really actually like what he's saying. I never thought, hell is freezing and boiling over right now, that I would be able to align myself with the gang member and what they stand for. But I found one. I found a black man who ended up holding his weight more than a lot of the quote-unquote pro-black hotep college graduate Negroids out here. Thank you so much for Bossy Empress TV for the $25 Cash App. Bossy Empress TV for the $25 Cash App and the support. Yes, I found one. Let's listen to C-Mac explain how he feels about his community.
Fans. We're really going through a recession right now, cuz. You find me? Whatever Crip Mac and Out the Muddy and T can do, if I help, you find me, as far as feeding the people in the community on hood, brand new clothes, brand new shoes, cuz. Also opening up programs, 5 people and all that good stuff, 5 them.
Now, I know
we're going to do it.
I know it's hard to get past the look in his voice, but I tell you what, at some point or another, I have to acknowledge that even though I might not necessarily agree with the lifestyle choices of a certain type of people, or sometimes a majority of the demographic of young men in the black community, I have to give credit where credit is due, because the thing that this young brother is saying is productive, and it is productivity for the community. So, what are you going to do? You know, if hell freezes over, then you got to at least build yourself some ice skates, and I like where the direction is going. All right, shoot, at least they're cripping for a reason. Let's continue here.
I got this nifty money coming in right now. I'm doing well. I'm blessed on hood. You find me? Everything gonna see all right. We are going through a recession right now. I do understand a lot of people aren't doing the best. You find me? I see a lot of shit on TV on hustlers. But what Crip Mac does not approve of, fans, I don't give a fuck. Snoo you is on hood. Niggas beating and robbing elderly women, cuz, for their purses. I got granny bears and mama bears, and I don't respect that type of shit. You niggas is costers.
Wow, C-Mac believes in protecting the women. Imagine that. We have to look for the moral authority in Crip members in Los Angeles to protect and stand up for the rights of women and their children. This is as far from grace as as the traditional black man could fall at this point. We have to take moral authority and authoritative construction and constructive criticism from a man who calls himself C-Mac DeLoke and who is tattooed from head to toe. Once again, I'm not trying to disparage this young man and what he's been getting into and things of that nature, because I stand behind his message. I appreciate that message. You see, the Black Manosphere would call C-Mac 55. They would call this young man right here a simp. Oh, you're standing up for women, huh? You're standing up for women, huh? This is insane. Yeah, I guarantee you they wouldn't say it to his face, of course. You have to be a stone cold fool. But I want to just say, and I wanted to show this video to really give a huge shout out to the only group of black men who are actually giving back to the community, who are actually talking about starting programs with the dirty money that they might have earned, who are actually trying to instill some sort of morality within the community that they live in. And it happens to be a group of Crips. Imagine that. What does it say on his head tattoo? His tattoo says, Hoover killer, Hoover killer. So he goes after and kills other young black men who are part of the Hoover gang. Now I know you might say, Truth, why are you really giving this guy credit? Why are you really giving him credit? I'll explain to you in 1 second. Let's watch one more video from C-Mac the Loke. I'll explain to you in 1 second why I decided to bring this up. We'll get into our main topic of discussion soon.
Soul food giveaway. 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 And look, I like doing great things for my community. Also, I'm doing workouts with you find me getting the workouts for the kids and everything. You know, we can keep the kids out of bullshit. You find me, keep them out of jail, keep them out of gangs. Let's keep them kind of sizzy this.
So he's trying his best. He's trying to make some community change. He's trying to make sure that he lets the community know that that they need to not be him. Shout out to C-Mac. By the way, CRIP stands for Community Restoration in Progress. Who would have known that the origins of gang activity actually had to do with restoring a community? Could have fooled the hell out of me. Back to our topic of discussion. C-Mac's the only one who I actually see utilizing his dirty money to help build a community. It reminds me of the mafia. Remember we talked about the mafia, right? The Sicilian, the Italian mafia, and their ties to criminal organizations. I went on to explain that, hey, even though they're doing crime, I would give them a pass because they ultimately made sure that their life for their own people in America was better. I would give Negroids a pass, and I said this, if they used the dirty money from whatever they're doing, preferably if it was from a victimless crime, to actually reinstate, reimburse, rebuild, add economic infrastructure into the dilapidated areas and environments that they grew up in. I'd give them a pass. I give C-Mac a pass. Just don't come after anybody I know, C-Mac. Go after the rest of the ignorant ones. Hell, I guess we're technically on the same side when it comes down to that. After all, if you're going to call yourself a godfather, maybe you should familiarize yourself, Kevin Samuels, with the impact that Don Corleone actually had for his community. The Italian mafia built thousands of businesses and ensured that their people, their future generations, would have a better life. That's what they did in America. And to push the subject further, the Italian mob strongly believed that women and children and elders were to remain unbothered, unpersecuted by any means necessary. They didn't argue with women online, on YouTube. They didn't mentally abuse women online, on YouTube. That's not what the mob did. That's not what the actual Godfather did. They talked to men. They didn't try and shame their women. They went to battle with men, enemies, and brought back their conquested goods to the communities. So how an allegedly homosexual man is somehow giving himself the title of Godfather in reference to a fictional Sicilian mob character is beyond me. He is the antithesis of everything that the mob represented. In light of July 4th, I wanted to speak on the subject of independence, a touchy subject in regards to the corner of the internet that we occupy. Now, it's no secret that we live in a free country. It's no secret that our country has a certain amount of history to it that on these types of celebrations obviously can be taken one way or the other. We can do what we please, however, in the year 21. This country is founded and was founded on blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, just as it was for other races of ancestors as well. We had people that fought in the Civil War, too. All races bled for we as a people being where we are, as a nation where we are today. Freedom ain't free is how I've heard it explained. There were simple religious people that formed and founded this country. In the 1600s, England did not have religious freedom. The Pilgrims were forced to leave England because they refused to follow the Church of England. Bear with me. I'm going to explain everything and why I'm saying this. In 1620, the Pilgrims were given permission to settle in Virginia, the first colony. The colonists came to America in the 16th and 17th centuries for several reasons, particularly practical motivations that related to their homeland, such as overpopulation, religious persecution, and poverty. For these reasons, Many colonists came to America seeking economic opportunity and the freedom to practice their religion without having to fear their oppressors. This is going to get really interesting here in a second. All things not a Gene says, from Sin, Taz, and now THT. Awesome. Glad to have y'all in here. Ice Cream Cake says, black men are physically threatening Sin because of what a white man said, trying to locate her address. Yeah. Negroids are going to Negroid. I can't show you what's 2 inches away from my hand right now. But just know that it packs a punch, and I advise everybody who is a community member, who is a part of the followers, who does partake in those types of streams where we tell the truth about black men, to protect yourself, because the honest truth about it is that many people, and most people in America, I think like more than 70% of people live in like larger cities or whatever it might be. And so if you're a content creator, if you're somebody that takes part in Sin's channel, and you have like a name on your username, YouTube username, it's a first and last name, or you have something to where it's like the social media of all your other accounts and things like that, to where somebody could Google you on, Facebook or YouTube, and you would pop up, then I would advise you to be cautious, because I've seen that as well. I saw Sin actually post a picture of the firearm that she has legally owned and responsibly operated. I saw her post a picture of that, and I know she's married as well, I believe, right? Isn't Sin married? Or maybe it's Nyla. I don't know. So I know she's taken care of. This is just a part of it. This is what we fight, and this is who we fight. This is the true nature of our existence right now. But I have seen that. C2 says Sin showed them her 9 and let them know she's in a stand your ground state, and she has a concealed carry. Absolutely. I have all of those as well. Not to mention, Texas actually just passed constitutional carry effective in September. You don't have to have a license to carry anymore, so long as you're legally able to carry, meaning no domestic misdemeanors and no felonies. Let's get back to this really quickly. Sin is single. Okay, my apologies. I don't keep up with it as much. Huge shout out once again to Sin, though. Let me go ahead and put Sin's channel in the description really quickly, because Sin shared one of our videos. And Cynthia G did not have to do that. She gave me probably about 300 or 400 subscribers within a few hours. And so I definitely have to give her a huge shout out for not just watching, but supporting the channel. So to subscribe to Cynthia G's channel, that link is in the live chat right now. If you're watching on replay, check it out in the description box. 132 people watching. Happy 4th of July. Now, here's the reason why I'm bringing this up. Here's the reason why I'm bringing the Pilgrims up. The most economically powerful country in the world was essentially started because the community that the Pilgrims lived in at the time was not conducive to their ideological belief of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this. The more interesting fact was that up until that time, England was one of, if not the wealthiest country in the world, just like America is right now. So there was a group of people in England who weren't able to partake in the vast array of economic wealth, of economic sustainability that everybody else in England could partake in. Those were the Pilgrims. Those are the ones who divested from Mother England. Oh, it's very interesting. So the Pilgrims left England for a better life. They sought to break the bonds of oppression and toxicity in search of a new life, which came in the form of leaving their community. Imagine that. We joke about moving out of the hood. Girl, I'm trying to get it. Boy, we joke about moving out of the hood because we know that the community that we're involved in does not lead us, does not lead our family, does not lead us to a better life, to more economic growth. That doesn't lead us to anything that's productive. And we live amidst the most affluent, productive people in the world. And we joke about it. Now imagine this. Imagine you grew up in the richest country in the world. Yet the immediate community that surrounds you is the polar opposite. On television shows, cell phones, YouTube videos, internet sites, you hear and see a lifestyle that you have never had access to. And if that wasn't enough, you don't even have the time to focus on those lifestyles because you are consumed day in and day out with just trying to survive. This is the plight of nearly half of black youths who are born into the lower 1/5 quintile of economic development. That is right. We'll get into the statistic stream in a little bit. Give me a bit more time. I'm almost done. Half of black youths are born into the lowest quintile of economic sustainability. Half. So you accept the fact that you'll never be able to take part in the wealth of the land that you live on, and maybe you're okay with that. But one day, the leaders of said community come knocking at your door telling you that you need to live, to pay more, to submit by their taxes, by their rules, that by their doctrines, or else. Remember the Boston Tea Party when the Pilgrims first and they finally started making money? The redcoats came and they said, the redcoats are coming. And they said, listen, all that tea that y'all been selling, we're going to need some of that. We're going to need some of that taxes. You need to go ahead and submit to our word, to our law, because you came from us, because you owe us. We gave you the permission because we're the man. You're the woman. You need to go ahead and submit to me. You're on my program. I don't care how much you've done. I don't care that you have your doctorates or your masters or you're educated or you have a business. I don't care what you've done or what you're trying to do for yourself. You need to follow under my rule. You need to follow under my law. And if you don't, there's going to be consequences. Imagine that. Telling you that if you don't get with the program, you will die alone. And in the Pilgrim's case, you would die on the streets that day, just as some of them did. Or jailed. Or redlined into severely poverty-stricken environments indefinitely. Well, now you have two choices. Play into the hands of the same community that's failing you, holding your feet to the fire as they bully you into a life-altering ultimatum, or leave altogether, forming your own thoughts, ideas, identity, infrastructure, etc. You see, there's something very interesting going on right now. There's something very interesting in the black community going on right now. This whole growth of the black manosphere is such a polarizing subject, and why we continue to talk about it and really put its true nature on Front Street. Because the reality of the situation is that most of the men that make up the black manosphere are the ones who are continually oppressing the black community. Are the ones who are the emotionally unstable oppressors of the black community, are the ones who are the low earning oppressors of the black community, are the ones who are the low educated oppressors of the black community. And so there's so many parallels when it came down to the Pilgrims leaving the motherland that ultimately failed them, and the black women that are trying to leave, to divest, to do better for themselves in a failed leadership of black men within the black community. Now, I know not all black women are looking to date outside of black men. I get that. However, a lot of black women are looking to do better for themselves outside of black men. They're not counting on black men to have their back anymore. They're not counting on black men to be able to make them a stay-at-home wife all the time. Right now, the men are fighting against that traditionalism and that stay-at-home wife type of role for black women. Right? So for the oppressors to come knocking at the door of black women, having given them nothing for their entire lives, for their entire existence, having dangled the carrot in front of them and saying, oh, well, you know what, if you work hard enough, maybe King George will see you down here in the slums and you could be one of his royal minstrels and dance for him. Jermaine, can you spell minstrel? I've given you a couple of days. Come back onto the panel, Jermaine, if you can finally spell it. I'm sure Jermaine's watching right now. A lot of them watch this channel. You'd be surprised. A lot of them watch this channel. This is amazing. We've got a lot of big people, a lot of big names that have come and swing by. Sorry, the fireworks are going off. But that's what black women are going through right now is very similar to what the Pilgrims went through. And guess what? I'll give you a little hint. The Pilgrims ended up making the most opulent, wealthy country in the world. Very interesting. You'll never find. Here's the doomer. Here's the black male doomer. As long as you live. They're talking to black women. Someone who loves you like I do. Trying to shame the woman. You're never going to find anybody, black women, who loves you like I do. You'll never find. Doom, 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 doom. It'll take the end of all time. Someone who cares for you, tender like I do. Right. Sweet Nothings. I'm not saying Barry White, Sweet Nothing. He's a legend, obviously, but I had to use Barry. So sorry, Barry, and the Barry White establishment and estate. Please don't sue me. I do enjoy his music. It's very interesting here. Black women are facing what the Pilgrims faced in England. Black men who have given them very little somehow expect them to take up their religious beliefs, their religions, or belief systems. You need to be traditional. You need to be following my lead because I was the man, and so they want you to follow their religions, just like the redcoats wanted the Pilgrims to submit to King George's religion. In the form of black women needing to be traditional women, black men try to instill fear, the fear of God, just like England tried to instill the fear of God into the Pilgrims by trying to doom them, dooming black women into a life of eternal damnation or dying alone. Oh, it's very interesting. Goodness, that's loud. Just like the Church of England tried to doom the Pilgrims for having their ulterior religious beliefs. Black men gave black women crumbs and expected them to play along with the game plan of enriching their lives by having in-house servants who bend and break at every will. But the Pilgrims started to get fed up, just like black women in our communities are fed up now. It's been 500 years, my nigga. Your time is drawing to an end. You've had plenty of time, my nigga. When they finally had enough, the Pilgrims left England and settled America. And at first, England thought nothing of it. How many Negroids do we hear talking about, oh, well, you just end up, okay, you don't need no, okay, you gonna die alone. Okay, you gonna realize you gonna wake up one day. Okay, you gonna see how much you really, okay, we'll see what you do. Oh, you want to leave with your education? Okay. Very interesting. They didn't take the Pilgrims, England this is, as seriously and assumed that they would come back to Mother England with their tail between their legs. How severely mistaken they were. Begging the almighty king, the almighty Kang, the almighty black man for forgiveness, black man. Please forgive me, black man. I'm a black woman who did not know what I did wrong. Help me, black man, to follow into your failures of $35,000 a year. Help me, black man, to be able to be a housewife and to be able to work at the same time and to be able to stress when I come home to you and to be able to stress at work and to be able to stress with the kid by myself as you play Madden 2022 on the PS5 that I bought for you. Help me, black man, to be able to follow and love you the way you need to be loved. Help me. Yeah, you gonna die alone. You gonna die alone. These black women gonna die alone, and they gonna see they gonna come back to me. Niggas. But the Pilgrims never came back. See, the black men think that black women are going to come back begging for the crumbs that they've been given. Oh, I miss the crumbs so much, my Negroids. I miss the crumbs. I missed your failed leadership so much. I miss living in the ghetto. I miss living in the hood that 50% of black children are born into. I miss struggling. I miss always having to deal with the lowest earning, lowest educated Pookie and Ray Ray in the face of, in the history of mankind. I miss it. I miss it so, black man. Pink Butterfly, hello, she says. Pink Butterfly, 160 people watching right now. The woman who doesn't exist to you says your streams are fire. If you're enjoying the stream, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you donate and contribute. I can't bring better quality without your continued donations and support. I hate asking for money, but at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing it because there's a lot I need to do. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot, and even in some in my personal life that I need to take care of. Now, there's a lot about me that y'all don't know. Maybe on like a chill stream, I'll kind of explain. But it would help a lot, and through helping for a lot of other things that I need to take care of, it's going to help the stream as well. But yeah, support, super chat, Cash App, whatever it might be. They can call me a panda bear. I don't care anymore. It is what it is. Niggas didn't support me when I was homeless anyway, so why the hell do I have any loyalty to you? Why the hell do I have any loyalty to Mother England after turning their backs on me, acting like the black male is just this overwhelming support, community of support? It's not. All right? It's not. Black women helped me a lot more than black males did. So guys, you always come on here. I saw there was a comment on Senji's channel that said, be careful, the honest truth used to talk bad about black women and talk bad about this and talk bad about that. We covered all this. We've talked about this and we've spoken about this in length, right? And the reason why I speak and say the things that I say now is because I woke up one day and said, Jonathan, what the hell are you doing talking about women as if women are evil when it's your own people, when it's your own bros, it's your own niggas that were the ones to hang you out to dry. It was your own niggas who threatened your life. It was your own niggas who threatened to take you away from your own mother because of $100 debt. It was your own niggas who had nothing to give to you after you gave everything to them. And here you are talking about how bad women are. Shame on me. $50 super sticker from MJ. $50 super sticker from MJ. Thank you so much, MJ, for that $50 super sticker. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that's donated. $50 super sticker from MJ. Shame on me. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy 4th of July. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. If you're at work right now, make sure that you, well, I don't even know. Enjoy your shift. I'm trying to make this more newsy, right? More broadcasty. Being a broadcaster is very difficult. It's very tough because you have to make sure that you always stay talking about something. And it's a consistent train of thought. I've been watching the greats like the Howard Sterns and everybody else. And it's just amazing how talented those guys are to continue the conversation and talking. And it's just me in the studio, but we'll be back with You Can't Handle the Truth. We're still setting up the studio for the final production pieces of that. Thanks to all of our supporters, we're gonna be able to have the interviews coming back soon. All right, so stick with me a bit longer, ladies and gentlemen. Back to our discussion. Pilgrims finally had enough. They left Mother England upon realizing that the settlers no longer needed the king's help. Upon black women realizing ultimately that they didn't have the support of the kings, realizing that they no longer needed to fight and vie for the crumbs that they had been offered for centuries, that's when change began. After a while, England became very upset. Wouldn't you know that black men are upset right now, women, for going to get their educations and considering their own prospective careers before they consider the family traditional role, the family traditional housewife, the family traditional black women. That's why the Manosphere was born. That's why the Black Manosphere was born. It was women saying, you know what? I'm tired of crumbs. It was black women specifically saying, you know what? I'm tired of crumbs. $10 super chat from Candy Girl. I'm sorry, $10 super sticker from Candy Girl. Thank you, Candy Girl. They were infuriated. England was infuriated that the Pilgrims had built a better life for themselves. They were infuriated that black women decided not to listen to their advice on foregoing education. They raged and doomed the black women for building businesses in undiscovered territories, so much that the King of England sent over an army of minions to deliver a message. Pay to us what you have made for yourself, or else. Just as the Kevin Samuels will send over his minions to my live stream. Black women, you better submit to the black man now, or else. 1 million strong, right? Very similar parallels here. But the Pilgrims said, we're tired, but we're not too tired to fight what we believe in. And fought they did. Fast forward 400 years later, and there are fireworks in the sky that you hear in the background of this live stream right now. They're busting fireworks over in my apartment complex. Fast forward 400 years later, and the greatest, most economically powerful country in the world is still number one today. Arguably, of course, China's right up there. But as far as freedoms go, United States is the best. I'm itching my knee. The threats didn't work. Moreover, the threats that Mother England, King George sent to the Pilgrims lit the fire of passion under the Pilgrims to get started and to fight and die for what they believed in, because they believed that strongly in the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. $10 super chat from Choco Cat returning back says 100% facts. Absolutely. Make sure we thumbs up the like, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Fix It says THC knows how to bring the fire. I'm trying my best, my dear. You see, when people get fed up, a shift happens. It's very interesting. And they begin to harness all the anger, all the rage, all the passion, and the spirit to build into something that's worth living for, and if need be, something worth dying for. At a certain point, humans can only take so much BS. This is why having the response that we have in these communities, this is why Cynthia G, Nyla Says, The Pink Pill, and other like-minded channels have grown to a combined reach of 1 million plus subscribers. The oppressed, the black women, the disenfranchised, most disenfranchised minority group of women in the world are tired of the oppression. They're fed up. They aren't going for it anymore. And just like King George I, certain black leaders are trying to rally their troops to go forth and threaten black women into compliance. What they don't realize is that threatening compliance only adds desire of seeking freedom from the oppressor. For instance, when slaves were slaves, the more they got beat, the more they decided to run away. The longer they started contemplating, you know what? Maybe it's worth it. Maybe the ultimate risk is worth it, because if I stay here under my oppressor, I'll continue to get beaten. I'll continue to be fed crumbs. I'll continue to live in the lowest economic earning pool in America. Maybe it's worth it to go ahead and leave, because what's my alternative? Threatening does not equal compliance. It's what you Negroids don't understand. The king can say whatever he wants to say, and just like Kevin Samuels has 1 million followers through a large army network of minion-minded men, at the end of the day, the war was lost the minute that the king lost the hearts of the people. And I'll tell you like this, even if King George won on the battlefield in the 13 colonies, he would still lose the war. What do I mean by that? A kingdom is only as strong as the pride of its people. Your lands will never thrive to the ability, to the level that they can thrive in, if the people that work the fields, if the people that tend to the farms, if the pilgrims, if the settlers that operate within the walls of your protection and kingdom don't live their best life. You will never live your best life either. Those two levels of synergistic efforts work hand in hand with each other. The better the people are, the better the kingdom is. The worse the people are, the worse the kingdom is. If you have malnourished people on your football team, then you're not going to have a very good football team, because it takes strength, it takes energy, it takes pride, it takes drive to get on the football field and be willing to sacrifice themselves for their end goal, for their coaching staff. It takes the right coach to be able to motivate the players to have the best community, to have the best football team. You see how that works, Negroids? You see how that works? Having your own people turn your back on you is not how you build a sustainable community. But we know you don't want to build a sustainable community. You've had 500 years to do that now. Just for the few of you who decide to actually be a boss of a job, or to be a boss, or to build something inside of the black community, if there are a few black men who are thinking about it, understand that you're only as good as the people that work under you, that support you, that you support. Synergy. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. This is how things work. King can say whatever he wants to say. And just like the King of England, who had a more powerful naval fleet, a more battle-tested army, just like Kevin Samuels, who has more subscribers than I do, at the end of the day, the King of England still lost the war. They had the numbers, they had the resources, they had the millions of minion-minded men on Kevin Samuels' channel, but the King of England failed to understand the resilience of the pilgrims. He failed to understand the resolve of the settlers. He failed to understand just how far drive, passion, anger, and rage can push a person. Because when your back's against the wall, you don't have anything to lose. You're willing to die or win, or well, 50 Cent said, right? Get rich or die trying. That's the position that a lot of black women are in. And they're realizing, you know what? I don't have to have my back to the wall. I can just walk right over to a different corner, to a different alley, to a different city, to a different whatever it might be. A lot of them have their backs up against the wall and they're saying, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to fight so hard against the wall right now? You know what? You can have this dark alley. You can have this little small section of the ghetto or the hood or whatever it might be. I'm going to go ahead and go to school. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get the hell out of this little kingdom that you made for yourself, so you can be left alone to fight by yourself. So congratulations, you've won. You've won the battle for the alley. The territory is now yours, but you're there alone. See how that works? You lose the hearts of the people, you lose the heart of the king and the kingdom. Synergy. But as the records indicates, the king severely once again underestimated the resourcefulness, the community, the passion, the heart, and the will of the settlers. Numbers didn't matter because what the settlers believed in and what we believe in on this channel was essentially etched in titanium. The numbers didn't matter. Tony Morrison with the $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, Tony, for the $20 super sticker. Judge once said the stickers are cute. I actually can't see the stickers on StreamYard, but I hope that they are. It sounds great. Organic Black says, I'm so proud of how the channel has grown. Thank you, Organic Black. Learning T says, we black women want to be loved and loved well, especially for our children, right? Learning T says, fireworks here too. It's illegal, so I can't complain. Yeah, you know, one day out of the week, unless you live in Chicago or New York. We were on the live stream the other day, right? And they were doing fireworks. I don't know. It was pretty much almost like a week ago. Jedi Mike says, people can change. Some folks don't want to move on and forgive. You took accountability when most wouldn't. Shake it off, brother. Thank you, Jedi Mike. Shout out to Jedi Mike in the building. Jedi Mike 7 on YouTube. Read a few more comments and we'll continue with our discussion here. Man, it's already been 54 minutes I've been talking. Wow. It's crazy. It goes by so fast. Keena says, goodness gracious, that is loud. Keena says, I can't with the dusty hands. Ice Cream Cake says, revenge fantasies. Child, this is the woman who doesn't exist to you. Let's move on. This is why the Black Manosphere will never win with black women. Because once you lose the heart of the people, you have nobody left to operate your kingdom. You guys fail to understand how productivity and how productive citizens, how productive societies are built from the ground up. Y'all are destroying the very people that you claim to want to be in your productive community. Hello. Make that make sense. On every live stream, we hear men try and doom black women in submission. You're going to die alone. Black women are realizing this is all BS. Black women can hop on Tinder. They can walk down any random street. They can talk to men at the grocery store, and men are going to be willing to get their phone number, take them out to Applebee's for a 2 for $22, get margaritas, get super drunk, take them to the movies, and they don't have to have sensual intercourse with them if they don't want to. They'll be able to do the same thing every day for a week if they decide, because they're women, and women have a lot more choices than men have. Just a tactic they employ to oppress the black community and keep them oppressed, as they always have. And when they start to see that the black women are doing better for themselves, when they see the black women are getting billion-dollar investments from Goldman Sachs, when they see six-figure entrepreneurs calling the Kevin Samuels show, they try and demean her by calling her average at best. When they see a trend of educated black women calling in the Kevin show, they try and act just like the King of England. Oh, wow, you're doing something well for yourself. Let's shame you and scare you back into submission, back into our arms so we can give you those crumbs and you can give us the resources that we were shaming you for to begin with. How does that work? I want to explain something, a psychological effect that takes place inside the mind. When and if you need help from somebody or an entity, You see them as a rock, something that you can stand on, or something that you can cling to when the storm is starting to get turbulent. Kind of going back to when the policemen are called and white men start showing up time after time after time to correct the bad behavior that goes on in our communities, time after time after time, to show that, hey, you know what, we're here to help you. Time after time after time, when we hear stories like the lawyer on Adam 22 saying that the black woman is the strongest woman in the black community. She's the strongest in the black community. She's the pillar. She's the anchor. And the black men need to get their stuff together so black youth can start to see productive black men in the way and the lifestyle that a man should be, so they can aspire to something that's more affluent than the degeneracy that is pop culture. You start to appreciate them a little more each time you see them. Black men don't understand that they play right into their demise. There are many parallels between the pilgrims and the modern day black women. We've covered a few of them. And I feel that the outcomes of both will be the same once it's all said and done. See, the revolution has started, no pun intended. And in a while, in some years, there's going to be fireworks shooting, just as there are tonight. Only this time, it's going to be fireworks from black women, celebrating their independence, their freedom, celebrating success in their revolutionary choices to focus on themselves instead of the community that they've been inflicted by for so long. And listen, I'm not saying that you just can't date black men. I'm not saying that as black women that you need to completely leave black men alone. What I am saying, though, however, is this new movement of black men trying to condemn black women for doing what the rest of the world, what Asian women, what white women do by going to get educated. We even joke about Asian women, if you're Asian, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer, and that's all you can be. We joke about that, right? We joke about the Asian, and it's okay for the Asian woman to be a doctor or a lawyer. But the second a black woman tries to be a doctor and a lawyer, it's not the Asian men that are joking about the black woman. It's not the black men it's not the white men that are joking about the black woman being a doctor or getting a master's. It's not the Latino or the Mexican or whatever other race of people, the Islander Pacific Islanders that are joking about black women trying to go to school and get educated. They're the ones that run the institutions. They're supporting it. They're the ones that give grants and give scholarships for underprivileged communities. It's the black man that's making fun of the black women. They don't make fun of any other race of women for going to get educated, but their own niggas. Niggas. How does that work? How do you want to build a better community, but you tear down the very pillars, the future pillars of your community? How do you build a house but only use sand? How does that work? Ice Cream Cake with the $5 super chat says, what do you think of black men saving themselves via women of other races to gain entry in their communities, avoid building? Brian's message broke hearts. I haven't heard the entire Brian was right conversation message. I haven't listened to the entire thing. I'll answer the first part of the question and then kind of, see if I can venture off into what he said in my response to that as well. I really enjoyed the parts I did listen to. I just haven't listened to the entire thing. What do I think of black men saving themselves? It's very interesting. This SYSBM, some people call it Sissy BM. I think that's appropriately dubbed. Save yourself, black man. Save yourself, because the black woman is out to get you. The black woman is the one that's trying to keep up white supremacy. The black woman, and they claim that somehow black women are the ones that are doing the drive-bys, that black women are the ones that are smoking children in Chicago, in South Side of Chicago, that black women are responsible for the shootout that you saw in the beginning of this live stream, that video of everybody screaming and yelling, of the black woman crying and screaming that they got another baby, and it was a black woman that had been shot, as if it was a black woman that shot her. It wasn't. It was Negroids that shot her. It's Negroids that make up the most convicted felony violent group of offending men in America. It's Negroids that make up the lowest earning, the lowest educating group of men in America. So this whole save yourself black men, this whole save yourself black men movement is ridiculous. The only people that black men need to save themselves from is themselves. Save yourself, black man. Brian was right, and Jermaine proved our point. That's why Cynthia G shared the video with Jermaine going off saying he was going to knock the furniture out of my mouth, because once you try and have a discussion based off of actual productivity, even if you don't agree necessarily with what I'm saying, for us not to be able to come to some sort of agreement, or maybe disagreement, or agreement to disagree, whatever it might be, is pretty much what Brian was saying the entire time. And that is, as a white man, he's found a lot more success in leveraging conversations, or maybe having arguments or debates or misunderstandings in his conversation and his day-to-day conversations with black women than he has with black men. He likes talking with black women a lot more than he likes talking with black men, because black women at least have that respect that black men don't have. And I say at least, I don't mean to say at least. They have a lot more things that black men don't have, right? But he much rather prefers talking to black women than he does black men. He said, and I think the part that I kind of stopped at, but I'm going to make sure I watch it, is that every time he talks to a black man, a lot of the time that they have a disagreement, there's no way that they can have an amicable conversation. There's no respect there. There's no, oh, well, hey, I understand, I disagree with you. No, it's just like they're always upset. They're always angry, just like Jermaine was on this live stream, right? So we have some Brian was right supporters in here. Unabashed Woman says a word. Yeah, make sure you check out the last live stream. I think it's got about 8,000 views now. It was called it was 2 live streams. I don't know which live stream it was now, to be honest with you. If one of our users can let Hello Hey know which live stream it was, where Jermaine was on. The time code, I think, was done by Beijik. Huge shout out to Beijik. Beijik was watching us from the UK, the United Kingdom. The entire live stream, it was like 5 hours long, or almost the entire live stream, I'm not sure. She was vacationing in the UK, and Beijik was so dedicated that she, at 3 o'clock in the morning, started watching the stream, and she was still here. Huge shout out to Beijik. Pink Butterfly says doomed. Alex says y'all with the foot emojis. Some huge supporters on the channel. That's what I think about save yourself, black man. Save yourself, black man. Yeah, save yourself, black men, from the Negroes that sold you into slavery 500 years ago. Black men have always been the worst of black men. Consistently. Queen Mercy said it's the Manosphere Doomer, where Jermaine popped up. The Manosphere Doomer. All right, thank you so much. Check that out. The timestamps are done, so you can get to the conversation with Jermaine. I think it was 2.5 hours in where Jermaine popped up. So there you go. Black Woman Sisterhood, the $10 super chat says, THT, can I make a future video request specifically on black men and their we was kings who taught white people everything they know? And their whole black kings falsehood references. Yeah, you most definitely can. Let me type that into my notepad right now. Black men telling white people they taught them everything they know. Absolutely. I've got that there in my notes. I've saved it. We'll definitely make that a potential topic for the next stream. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I'll be opening up the panel soon. Jeez, I don't know what I said there. I'll be opening up the panel soon. So good to have you all riding with us. Almost 200 people watching on this July 4th holiday. I hope you enjoyed the fireworks as you go home. I want to thank you specifically for joining and watching us today. It means a lot to have you here. It means a lot to have your time and your donations and your contributions. For those of you who can't super chat, you can donate to the PayPal, to the Cash App link, cashapp.com/$ Truth Seekers, TRUTHSEEKRS, PayPal.me/The Honest Truth. I'm going to put the link up to invite. If you want to go ahead and hop into the conversation on your way home from the fireworks, if you just want to talk to me, if you just want to let a couple things off your chest, if you want to let us know how your situation is going within your life, then you are more than welcome to join the panel right now. There's the link. I will post this link up permanently. I know I get requests for that. So if you are watching and you cannot join right now, this link will be perma put onto the top of the live chat. It'll be pinned as it is right now. New vlog coming out soon for the channel members, starting at the $3.99 channel member level awake, all the way up to $24.99 channel member awake. Make sure that you keep in mind that if you become a $9.99 channel member and above, you get special access to the new courses and one-on-one type videos that I'll be dropping here. I dropped one already. I'm dropping another one tomorrow morning. They're very cool, very interactive, and it's something that I think you'll all like. 195 people watching. Let's finish up with our discussion here as we kind of round out to our live stream panel. When black women rise above it all, as they will, just as the United States Pilgrims rose above it all and defeated the evil monster that represented oppression in Great Britain and King George, after they pushed through being called too independent, too educated, too strong, too confident. Black Women Sisterhood, welcome on. We'll let you on in 1 second. After they finally make it to celebrating and their fireworks start to explode into the air as they did tonight, what will black men be able to say? And I have something to say here. When did being too independent, when did being too educated, when did being too strong, when did being too confident be a bad thing? When did that become a bad thing? I'll never understand this. When did this become a bad thing here? Too educated, too confident. I was watching a video on the For Harriet channel, and Kimberly Neoster said something that resounded with me. The same qualities that pose as positives for other races of women are negative when black women have them. For example, we spoke about the Asian culture and how they all become doctors and lawyers. But Kevin Scamills will mock women who have their doctorates and master's degrees. When did this become a negative here? We're almost done here. We have a couple panel members on here on board. Naeem with the $5 super chat says truth. Naima. The woman who doesn't listen to you says your streams are refreshing. Beware dusties. Yeah, they're on their way. They'll be here soon. They'll be here soon. Last thing before we go on to our live streams, the reasoning why our women call into Kevin's show and other races of women may seem parallel, but even though they might be saying the same words, the meanings are completely different. When black women say they want a high value man, they simply mean they want a man who will provide a lifestyle for them that doesn't include the menacing characters that they have to interact with on a day-to-day basis. Most black women's idea of a high value man is someone who could take them out of the hell that half of the black children were born in, i.e. the lowest quintile. Could take them out of the hell that they grew up with and place them in an environment that's more promising. Other races of women see high value as something completely different. They don't have the same trait of thought that our women have as far as value is concerned, because in other communities, the majority of men inherently have value that most black men don't have. So they're not speaking about the same value when they're talking about high value here. All right. This is why this entire value conversation is blown up on this channel, because most black men have no value. No other manospheric realm, the white, Asian, Latinos communities have these conversations with women in their search of a man with value. That's not what the white manosphere talks about. They don't have the same affliction because the white men have value. Right? Another huge supporter here is on the panel. We're almost done here, ladies. Black men speak from a position of affliction due to their lack of inherent value or resources. White men speak from an opulence of value and resources and how they can preserve their resources and what they have. Black men have no resources to preserve to begin with, and yet somehow claim that the women are out to get the resources that they have. Nigga, you don't even have any money. What are you talking about? Women are out to get you and to save yourself, black men. You have nothing to save yourself for. Save yourself. Niggas have $50 a month child support payments and talking about saving themselves. Nigga, if you don't find a way to make $50 and pay that damn child support payment, the hell? Child support goes by how much you make, and Negroes aren't making that much money. They're the lowest earning men in America. Save yourself. Save yourself from yourself. This takes us to our comment of the day and a few other comments. Before we go to our live stream members, I wanted to say that everybody that comments, I want to give a huge shout out to you. I got to show this comment of the day really quickly before we go ahead and move on. Here's the comment of the day. It does relate to child support. SA says, you're absolutely right about child support. My mom only got $50 for me and my sister. Most black women get little to nothing in child support. Well, that's because most black men make little to nothing. SA, thank you for that comment and for opening up. Let's go to another comment. This comment is from a hateful Negroid. You guys know how I love comments where I can't barely understand grammatically what the subject is. Last comment before we move on to Black Women Sisterhood. Me says this. Oh, hold on. That's the wrong comment. Let me show you this comment first. That's the wrong comment. First mess up of the evening. I'm sorry, y'all. Then we'll read the other comment. Here we go. Did I do the same thing again? Gosh darn it. If you're watching this on audio, just know that right now I'm messing up essentially. Yo, I did the same comment again. I am done, yo. I'm tripping. I'm sorry, yo. All right, 4 times the charm. Screenshot. Here we go. Armadillo Jummo says, womanists like you, afraid of manly and accomplished man because they treat you how you deserved or how they can treat you, so you call them arrogant, machinistic, and gay to reduce simps that treat you like a queen's because that's all you can deal with. Good luck in life. We'll try and read this translated Chinese one more time, and then we're gonna go to our panel members. Your guess is as good as mine, ladies and gentlemen. Your guess is as good as mine. Womanist like you, afraid of manly and accomplished man because they treat you how you deserved or how they can treat you, so you call them arrogant, misogynist, and gay to reduce to simps and to treat you. I just want to give a huge shout out to King Brittany's channel. Here's her page. Follow her on Instagram. She does have a YouTube channel as well. I saw that comment on her Instagram. Her YouTube channel is youtube.com/BrittanyJ. That link is going to be in the live chat right now. We have some panel members on, ladies and gentlemen. There's enough degeneracy to go around for comments for another time. We'll just have to take what we can get. If you do know ancient Hebrew or hieroglyphics and you can translate what that comment was, then I commend you. Let's move on to our live panel, Black Women Sisterhood. Welcome back. Thank you for the super chat and the donation support. It's good to see you again. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So, Jonathan, I have two things I just wanted to say, and I always try to keep it quick.
Sure.
For one, okay, so my thing is I'm so glad that you kind of touched on how Black men in the Manosphere, a lot of their plight is way different compared to men in the real, like, overall Manosphere. So, like, a lot of the white men, like, they have actual real problems. Like, a lot of them have maybe gotten their kids taken away. They've maybe have gotten divorced, like a lot of real responsibility. So I can kind of sometimes see a little bit of their hatred towards women, but Black men, it's like a lot of them, they don't have a right to have the same complaints as men who may have had all their money taken out of from a divorce and stuff like that, because they've never really contributed anything. And
Absolutely.
The second thing I was going to ask is regarding to the whole video request that I had, because I was having an argument with this guy. He was talking about Cynthia G video that you spoke about, and I just don't understand what's the point of mentioning that we were kings and queens and we came from royalty if now we are pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole as far as that community. And it's like, are you bragging about teaching people how to oppress you?
Absolutely.
That's basically what you're doing.
I mean, yeah, Black Woman Sister, to your point, it's literally admitting that they got conquered.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, we taught them how to bathe. That's the comment that the man made. He said, well, we taught them how to bathe themselves. I said, what point does that make if now they can oppress you? That's right. Stupid.
Black Women Sisterhood, that's a great point. So well said. We're going to go in order here as the order that everybody joined. It might not be the same on the screen, but I think I remembered. Bossy Empress TV, welcome back to the panel. Thank you for the contribution. Make sure you check out.
Welcome. You're welcome. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you perfectly. You are loud and clear.
Awesome. I just and by the way, you're welcome. I love to contribute to Black creators and see Black content creators doing their thing on all these platforms out here. So I'm always willing to support when I can. You're welcome. And I wanted to just talk about the high value man thing that you were mentioning a few minutes ago earlier in the broadcast. And I just wanted to stress to a lot of the women that a lot of the times that these Black men, they see resources, they see what is deemed as success, and they think that that's high value. However, they're leaving out integrity, discipline, character, generosity, kindness, empathy, sympathy, things that make you human. A lot of these men are walking around here objectifying women, treating them like just simple objects, and not loving them and treating them right, not realizing that you're only going to lose resources being irresponsible with your seed, spilling it about recklessly, and creating single mothers and women, that do not creating a household. You feel
All right.
me? And it's like marriage is a curse word to them, or a carrot to be dangled, in front of you like a treat or a prize or something. And it's just very, to me, I just want to remind women that we need men that have good character, who have discipline. And if he has the right character and discipline, the finances and everything else that makes a man high value is going to easily fall into line. So that's all I really wanted to say, is as long as he's got the discipline and the character and the level of integrity that you need, obviously he's going to be willing to provide for you, because he knows that's his place as a man and a true king.
Absolutely. So well said, Bossy Empress TV. So well said.
You're welcome.
We'll come back to you here in a bit. Well, it looks like we have Stampitis with his lady with us tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is truly a special night, 4th of July. We have all the fireworks being shown on the channel. Stampitis, welcome back. You are a fan favorite, both for good and bad. But I tell you what, as I always tell you before, I appreciate you being here and the conversations that we do have. It is good to see you, Stamp. The floor is yours, Stamp. Go ahead. Now, Stamp. Am I expecting a special? Unmute yourself one more time. I'm sorry, Stamp. Am I expecting a special announcement here or something, or what is the meaning? What is the meaning of this?
Well, I mean, I wanted her to be on camera. Hold on, I gotta take her. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
I kind of wanted her to be on camera to speak, because
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people in your chat think that I just talk. The way I talk is I talk in front of her. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I hear you, man. No, listen, I never thought that you were lying about anything, Stamp. And so whatever it might be, I know that you're pretty sincere. I could tell that you're pretty honest, pretty.
Well, I wanted to say happy 4th to you, and I guess with this conversation, I wanted to say, like, you were talking about, I think earlier, that black men call themselves kings, but I hear black women call themselves queens way more than I hear black men ever call themselves kings. So what do you have to say on that?
Yeah, I think that in regards to that, it pretty much goes back to ultimately what Malcolm X said, and that's a nation is only as strong as the women that support it, or the women that are inside of that nation. Malcolm X placed a lot of value inherently on women, and he understood that when you have good women that are the majority of your communities, that community is going to thrive by and large. Malcolm X placed more value on women than he did men. That's why he fought so hard to protect. That's why he took up arms to protect. That's why he was the man that he was, because he believed that women were to be protected, that they did have more value, that they were the true royalty of the black community. And so I have no problem with black women calling themselves queens, because ultimately we as men are supposed to be able to protect them and treat them as royalty that they are. We're the ones that go on the front line in battle. As you remember, in war, most of the time, royalty doesn't battle. Royalty doesn't fight on the front lines. Royalty is protected. The protectors of royalty go out and fight on the front lines. It's not the kings that fight. The men are the ones who are fighting right now. The men are the ones who go out to bring resources back to the community. And so essentially, yes, this entire world was built for women. If you want to be honest about it, women are the queens. Men are the servants. This is not just for the black community, but for communities in general. White men built the world that women essentially relaxed in for them to build. And so women, by and large, are seen as queens, not just black women. But going directly to answer your question specifically, I have no problem with black women calling themselves queens, because women do inherently have more value than men do as far as that regard and as far as that goes. All right. There's a reason why I make sure to let everyone know that a woman can walk down the street and get a guy in a New York second. A guy can't do that. All right. So there are certain values that women just have that men don't have. And that's one of those values. All right. So that's my best answer to you right there, Stamp. Good question there. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Well, shoot, am I muted?
Oh no, you're good.
I wanted to give Jedi Mike a shout out on his channel. You've been doing great, man. Keep up the good work, man. And thank you for having me on Honest Truth. Thank you.
Nah, not a problem, Stamp. Not a problem. Shout out to Jedi Mike once again. We got Arsenal God back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Arsenal, I know you're raring to go. We'll give you 1 second. We'll be right back with you. All right. Kier 101. Kier 101. Oh, huge supporter of the channel, Kier. Everything that you've done in the past couple of weeks, I love you. I love you for it. Kier, the floor is yours. What have you got on this topic that we're speaking about tonight?
Thank you for the shout out so much. Right now, nothing at the moment. I'm just hearing everybody's responses. It's really good. Right now at the moment, I just have, for men out there, if you have a good woman, please do what you can to keep her. It's not a dime a dozen, so don't be stupid.
Absolutely. We might go back to you, Stampitis. Oh, did he go? Oh, Stampitis left. C2 says she can't speak. Thought he showed her for a reason. We knew she existed. maybe if she comes back, Stampitis, if she comes back, let her speak. They want to hear her speak. We'd like to get her input on everything going on, Stampitis. We'd like to get her input there. We have some questions for her. It is a beautiful family, Organic Black said. She's not obligated to speak. She's not required to speak if she doesn't want to. So we'll wait on that. Once again, Stampitis, if you get time, make sure to come back. We'd like to ask her some questions. MJ, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the panel, MJ. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, MJ.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much for allowing me to join the panel. I just want to say that for all the ladies out there, please go ahead and continue on getting your education. Do not let anybody tell you that your education is not valuable. None of the rich men in our country have dumb women on their side. Let's be really clear. They cannot trust their wealth, their fortune, and their legacy to a bimbo. Okay, so if they don't have these guys out here telling you that is not what you need to be focused on just catering to me. That's not how it works. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to say for right now. I'll probably touch back a little bit on later.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, MJ, for that. Thank you so much, MJ. Once again, call it, and we're calling out to Stampitis. Come back if you can, Stampitis. We'd like to. Some of the channel members would like to speak to your lady. I'm not going to specifically ask her anything for myself because that's just not my place to do that, man. She's your woman, so I'm not going to do that. But some of our channel members do want to ask her a few questions. If I can do that, then I'd be more than honored. Stampitis, welcome back. Stamp, I saw one question for your lady, but I'll just have her introduce herself really quickly if she'd like to. Hello, Miss Stampitis. Hi. So are you often watching us with Stampitis as we're live?
Yeah, I watch every time.
Nice. Well, I tell you what, you've gotten some compliments in the chat, and you've got some supporters in the chat already, and we want you to know that we're glad to have both of y'all here, as well as the little one. Obviously, you know that Stampitis and I might not agree on everything, but it's always respectable, and that's something that a lot of the men who come onto this panel, who will get ready to speak in a second, the men are beside you, Arsenal God. I can't say the same for. Right, but I just want to know. And King Friday. I'm sorry. Oh, Arsenal. Arsenal, hold on. All right, hold on, Arsenal. Hold on, Arsenal. I'm coming. King Friday wants to know how does he treat you?
You better answer this one right.
I mean, like he treats me really well. I mean, anything I want, he'll basically get it for me. But I mean, everything that he said is true. Like, he does say all that crazy stuff to me, and I have to deal with that. But I mean, if that's the worst part.
What is crazy stuff? What do you mean?
Like everything that he says to you guys, like I hear that all the time. Like, he rants at me all the time. But
like, this is why
the man is
like, all of that. But I mean, like, he's
really.
Yeah.
Now, how does that? Are you okay with that? I mean, what do you say back to him? Are you just kind of it is what it is? It's okay with you, or?
Nah, I mean,
she. I'm gonna tell you the truth. She usually says, you're with me, so why do you always have to rant that to me all the time? That's usually
Yeah,
you usually
pretty
say something to that effect.
So, Stampitis, why are you ranting to her? She seems like a sweet girl. She seems really sweet. I mean, I don't see why. I mean, if anything, she's exact proof that maybe everything that you're saying isn't necessarily true, right?
I mean, well, I'm not perfect, but I mean, I think I do like put it a little heavy on her, but I also do that to make sure that she doesn't wind up acting like some of the women, even arguably, no offense, even in your chat, because I don't want her to like push me away and her to be alone, because that's exactly what's going to happen, and that's what I honestly think. So,
Well, listen, we don't want her to be pushed away and alone too, because we know that would be a bad situation for both parties, right? And so, yeah, nobody wants y'all to be alone. However, I do need to caution and just kind of, words have meaning, words have bearing to them, they have weight to them, and just like the message that we're speaking about tonight, the pilgrims listening to a certain leadership for so long, eventually at some point or another it started to wear. And so I know that you're not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I have to watch the words that I say to people, especially when I get into a certain mind frame, but I'm very cautious with certain personalities because they can hold things a little differently than others can. Now, I'm going to go back to asking her a question, Stamp, and I appreciate your patience here. Young lady, are you, and I'm just going to have to say this because for those of you who aren't watching right now, you're not going to understand why we're asking these questions. So I need to kind of take it back and forgive me, y'all. I'm going to put you on Front Street here for a while. But you've been dating for how long now?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, man. That's awesome. Almost 3 years. And are you seeing yourself with Stampitis for the rest of your life?
Yes.
Okay. Stampitis, are you seeing yourself with her for the rest of your life?
oh no, yes, yes.
Awesome. That's awesome right there. So I guess the most obvious question is that when are we going to actually see both of y'all make the governmental commitment, make the titanium diamond encrusted circular commitment with each other, making the offering to God, offering both of your souls to him as you offer your body and your servitude to the other? When are we going to see that play out to back up with what you are saying, both of you in this case? And I'll ask the lady first. Do you desire to get married, or is this something that's not as important to you?
No, I definitely.
Okay. So you talked about it. Have y'all gone ring shopping yet already? Listen, we're so invested in this. We could probably raise contributions up to buy the dang wedding ring for y'all. Listen, you have supporters on this channel. So let me go back to talking about this. When he speaks the way he speaks to you certain times, do you feel like maybe you won't last or be together forever, even though you want to be?
No, I actually don't feel that way.
You don't. So it doesn't bother you that much.
No, I won't say it doesn't bother me.
It definitely bothers her. Like, yeah. She'll cry and tell me, it bothers her.
Yeah, it definitely bothers
She'll cry. Okay. So sometimes it breaks her down. Now, Stamp, I know you said that you say these things to her to kind of keep her in check, right? For the most part.
Right.
Well, Jedi Mike said he's an ordained minister. And so, listen, we've told y'all before, we have everything provided for y'all. Y'all just take the trip out over to us. We'll set it all up. How do you feel when you make her cry, Stampitis?
I mean, I don't really feel good, but I feel like it's necessary because as men, I mean, your chat, or you may not agree with it, but we're supposed to lead, and we're supposed to keep things in order and keep, I do it as a way of like keeping her in check almost. I don't really do it maliciously, or you understand what I'm saying? So I don't feel, but to answer your question, I don't feel great about it, That's like, sometimes I have to discipline my son. Does it make me feel good? No, but it's not to compare it to a child, but it's just like, I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, that's tough, Stamp. Disciplining a child and disciplining the mother of your child are two very different dynamics in relationship, right? Right. It's a bit concerning, if I'm being honest with you, for me to hear you explain that the way you did. Now, I know I'm not perfect. Neither are you. None of us are perfect. However, when I see my loved one cry, that would bother me, right? that would make me feel a certain type of way, and I would try and make it my priority to ensure that she doesn't have to cry. It sounds a bit like emotional narcissism, right? Narcissistic behavior, emotional manipulative control, right? When you force certain emotions out of her. Now, listen, y'all's relationship is y'all's relationship. I'm happy that y'all are happy. I'm happy that she's happy. If it's working, then by all means, continue to do that. But I'm just telling you, I do honestly want the best for y'all. I know it might be hard to see that, but I do want the best for y'all. I appreciate y'all. Cynthia G's in the chat. Cynthia G, once again, huge shout out to Cynthia G. Make sure that you check out her YouTube channel. I'm going to bring up her links right now.
Take notes, black women. This is who they are. Is she
Now,
referring to?
hold on. Now, hold on, Stampitis. Let me put Cynthia G's link up really quickly, and I want you to kind of come back to me here. So, young lady, when he makes you cry, do you just kind of go to another room, or do you continue to talk to him, or do y'all stop communication for a while? And how often does this happen?
Yeah, no, I definitely don't go to another room. I mean, it usually turns into an argument, but it doesn't happen. I mean,
We don't really argue like that.
Yeah,
like,
we get along pretty well.
Yeah.
Right. So you've never come to it's never gotten physical.
No.
Okay. So he makes you cry a little bit every once in a while. You're okay with that because, you know, hey, he's got to keep you in check. You're okay with that then, Stampitis DP girl?
I'm not necessarily okay with that.
Necessarily. Okay. So it's a bit abusive. Stampitis, can you agree that that's a bit abusive, or am I maybe pushing it a bit too far there?
I mean, I guess you could. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that.
Stampitis, have you? I'm going to ask a pretty invasive question here. Stampitis, have you how do I say this without just saying it? Jeez. I've been to counseling, Stampitis, and the counselors told me that there are some things that operate inside of my brain that are a bit different from most people, which is why I'm kind of the person that I am. I'm really passionate, and sometimes I can fly off the handle and say things that are just crazy. Have you spoken with any professionals in maybe a personality or character assessment development in the past? I know you make good money. Have any of y'all gone to counseling, or have any of you sought to speak with medical or psychological professionals at all?
No.
Okay. I don't take any medications, but do any of y'all take any medications for depression or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Well, let's kind of go back to you, Stampitis DP girl. If he was never to propose to you, and let me ask you, Stampitis does pretty well for a living, right? He makes good money. He can take care of the bills.
Yes.
Okay. So you're comfortable right now.
Yeah.
Okay. You're secure. If he was to never put a ring on your finger, would you still stay with them for the rest of your life?
No, that's not an option.
Wow.
He knows. He don't act like you don't know that. He knows.
So how many more years are you going to continue to wait at this point is my question to you, or how long does he have to put that titanium diamond encrusted circular shape on your finger?
Yeah, well, since I am like really involved in his business and what goes on with all of that, I know that we have to wait until he gets his next investment. So we're looking at probably 2 years.
So you're waiting right now. Stampitis, you know, he told us this a bit earlier. You're waiting right now because Stampitis wants to make sure that he's financially ready to marry you, essentially. Or I thought that he was making enough money as is. So what's the meaning, or what's the reasoning for waiting on marriage right now? Maybe I'm not understanding.
Well, the reason is because the type of lifestyle that I want to live, I don't live it. Like the houses that I look at in San Diego, they cost $2 million plus. That's a $12,000 mortgage. I want my kids in private school. Like,
sure.
I don't live that type of lifestyle. I live
so Stampitis. Now I understand what you're saying. Listen, Stampitis, I feel the same way, bro. I make sure that you can take care of yourself before you get into a relationship. But here's my point, Stampitis. The child is already here, right?
Correct.
So what exactly is going to change in regards to you marrying her versus not marrying her? And I hear this is the reason. Let me clear it up for all the viewers. Stampitis doesn't want to marry her right now because he wants to be in a, I guess, more or better position for himself. However, Stampitis, it kind of goes against what the Manosphere believes, which is protecting your assets and your resources. Because if you were to make more money, provide more financial security, essentially, if things don't work out, which you're assuming, and you agree that it might not work out, right? When you get married, that's a possibility, right?
Right.
It might not work out, and then if we're to leave you in a worse position because you decided to legally bind your names together, right?
Correct.
So my question to you, Stampitis, is why haven't you just made a prenuptial agreement if that's the case? If you don't want to lose the resources that you have or the resources that you could have in the future, why have you not just made a prenup? Have y'all talked about that?
Yeah, she already said she would. I mean, I guess it's like
So wait a second. Hold on, Stamp. I gotta stop you there. Cute baby, man. Y'all got a beautiful baby. She said that she would sign a prenuptial agreement, and you still have cold feet for marriage. So it's not your financial resources that you're really. Stamp, I'm gonna go hard on you for a second, all right? If she's willing to protect you, if she loves you so much that she's willing to divorce and not to seek a single dollar of your assets, and she agrees legally to that, then I don't know how you're going to sit here and tell me that economic reasons are the reason that you haven't gotten married to her. Am I wrong for thinking that?
Well, it's not just.
Yeah, we have. There's other things.
Like I think it's with me because, like, I mean, I've admitted on your live stream I've been married before, so it's like that.
So let me ask you, did you have a child in your last marriage?
No.
But you have a child in this relationship. So would you not agree that it's a bit more serious, quote unquote, in this relationship now?
It's a hell of a
lot more serious. Yeah.
So one thing that always confuses me, and this is something that the Fraud Father says a lot. So I hate that I even have to bring up this talking point, but it's people who are scared to get married, but they have a child together. Like a child is the ultimate form of connection, of commitment. Like you guys will always have that kid. You can't just go give them back. Right. So no matter what happens, what I mean to say is no matter what happens, it is a cute baby. Cute Mercy says. Babies are always cute. Love babies. No matter what happens, y'all will always be connected to some extent. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
I think well, I know you haven't been married and she hasn't been, but like the embarrassment of like even like it's a lot. Like people that have been married would understand. But I understand what you're saying. Like we have a child. And like, what's the stopping it? But it's, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you have to be married and divorced to really understand it.
Do you think, let's talk about embarrassment for a second. Young lady, are you embarrassed? My bad, I didn't mean to meet you. Are you embarrassed when people ask you about your relationship and are you married? Does that make you feel embarrassed?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I remember.
We went to the VA.
No, I was gonna tell the one chick on here,
Sudan Mommy.
Yeah, like she one time she was talking about it, like how when I go to the doctor with the baby or whatever, and he has a different last name than me, like that's embarrassing, and it is embarrassing because I never wanted to like have a child out of wedlock. That was never, something I wanted to do, and he knows that. I mean, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the circumstances are what they are.
Okay. Let me put you on mute for 1 second. I'm going to ask you a question in 30 seconds. Let me read the super chat first. Yet a case says Cynthia G, call in, my two faves. Cynthia G is very busy, so she probably won't be able to call in, but I appreciate Cynthia for sharing and for supporting in the chat and taking active participation in the chat right now. So Stampitis, this is tough right here. This is secondhand embarrassment. Cynthia G says you don't value marriage, so that's essentially why you haven't gotten married now. All right, you don't value the marriage, but you value her. You value her as a person, and you already have essentially fulfilled the most ultimate commitment that two human beings can fulfill within a relationship, which is to reproduce and to make another spiritual entity that's a direct reflection of the love that you both share for one another. So in my opinion, putting the ring on it is not nearly as major as having a child. Now, Stampitis, do you not care about her embarrassment, or do you only care about your embarrassment in this case? And are you embarrassed when people ask you if you're married? Are you not embarrassed by that?
Well, first of all, I want to respond to Cynthia G. If I didn't value marriage, I would have never been married in the first place. And you don't know me, so. But do I care about her embarrassment? Of course I do. It bothers me. Like, it bothers me a lot more than she even realizes, and that's why it bothers me. It really does. Okay. I think like with me, it's just like I said, like, and I'd be willing to bet you Cynthia G's never experienced this either. You've never been married and divorced. You don't know the feeling. You know what I'm saying?
So what is it? What is it about divorce that hurts you so much, Stampitis? What exactly happened to you?
Well, like our first date when we went to the BW3s, like one of my friends rolled up and was like, "Who is this?" And like Facebook and like it's like a whole thing. Like
Yeah, like his ex was just really
Right. So he had a bad ex, but what you're telling me, it sounds like it could have happened in a normal relationship too, where it was just a bad breakup and then there was bad blood and bad tension, right? That's not necessarily something that was exclusive to marriage, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right. I mean, like you pointed out, like I think you said you live with an ex. Like that'd be like me asking you if you had a perfect girl, right? Why don't you just let her move in, right?
I
mean,
would.
like,
I would, and then I would.
Listen, honest, tell the truth.
Listen, hold on, Stampitis. If I had a perfect girl, I would move her in and marry her within a week. What else? Stampitis, listen, honestly, if I had a perfect girl,
right?
Like I'm like, oh, she's perfect. Why would I not? I would make sure that I take her before anybody else could. Am I? Does that not make sense?
It makes sense, man. It makes sense.
All right, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest here. Okay, listen, I think Jedi Mike might have a question for y'all. But before we do, I'm gonna let the ladies speak. Welcome Jedi Mike 7 to the panel. $5 super chat from Charlie Brown says, this negates all the crazy he's been spewing. A white man will take her and her baby. Don't get it defensive now. You talk big ish when you by yourself. Charlie Brown said that to you. I think it's directed to you, Stampitis. Black Woman Sisterhood, we'll start with you. Do you have any questions for Stampitis, DP, and his girl right now?
I do. I actually wanted to ask Stampitis, where did this kind of originate from? His whole disdain for women in general. Like, what was his growing up? Like, how did you interact with women when you grew up? Like, with Black women particularly. Like, how did you get along with Black women when you grew up, when you were younger?
Well, I was a loser, so not very well. I was one of the smart ones, and most black women, they don't like smart black men. That's just the facts.
That's
so
okay.
Not very good to answer your question. Not very good.
So there's this narrative that Black women don't like smart Black guys. It's a narrative that's not true. The woman I fell in love with was a Black woman. Moreover, I had no problem with any woman. You have to understand, women are women, bro. It doesn't matter what race they are. If you are a stud, if you are a very intelligent, well-to-do, promising future young man, women of all races will be all over you. You don't think that there are Black women out there that seek out doctors specifically? You don't think that if you go into the hood and you tell a young black teenager, or maybe a 19 or whatever it might be, that you want to be a doctor, you don't think that if you're a doctor and you go back to the hood and you tell a woman that you're a doctor, that she's going to say, oh, I don't want to date you, you're a doctor? Come on, Steph. That you have no problem with women if you have a certain level of intellect, okay? Because it shows economic sustainability, something that doesn't happen a lot in the Black communities. Intelligence, education equals money, all right? So I understand that maybe in our pop culture, they talk down in pop culture, but I think that's a lot more Black men talking down about the stereotypical nerd than it is Black women. All right. I think that's a lot more about the men. Right. Let's go ahead and move on really quickly. I want to let Kier speak. I know she hasn't spoken yet. We'll come back to Stampitis and his girl. And then we're going to let MJ go. Arsenal, I haven't forgotten about you. You're going to have to wait for a while. You take back seat as far as precedence goes when Stampitis and his young lady are up here. Kier, did you want to ask Stampitis any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to ask him, what kind of girls were you going after in high school exactly? Were they smart girls, or what kind of girls were they?
I mean, to be honest, like, I didn't really have all the nicest, like, I went to a school where what you wore mattered. So I couldn't really afford like the Jordans and stuff like that and Rockaware and all that. So I wasn't really going after them like that. I just kind of focused on getting decent grades to get a scholarship for college, for real.
Now, Stampitis, Alex Amazeballs has a question for you. She says, is it me, or is he kind of insulting her by saying Black women don't like smart Black men? I mean, you sound like a smart Black guy, Stampitis, and all things considered, you have a Black woman beside you. So I think my bigger point of contention is that you have direct contradiction sitting right beside you to say opposite of what you're trying to prove, right? The mother of your child is a Black woman, and you're an intelligent Black man, right? Let's go ahead and move on here. Jedi Mike had a question. I'm pretty sure Jedi Mike came onto the panel. Welcome, Jedi Mike 7. I'll put his links in the chat. Jedi Mike, the floor is yours, sir.
What's up, Jedi?
What's up, man? I have one thing to say to you.
Yes.
Marry her, Negro. Listen, first of all, nice to meet you, ma'am. You have a beautiful child and everything. Yeah, you're a beautiful family. But yeah, but my name is Mike. You call me Jedi Mike. But yeah, I just want to say, yeah, dude, just Mayor, I understand that you're understanding your fear of this. I know you made this comment on my channel earlier about when it's talking about making sure that you make the right decision, you know, before you marry someone, which I 100% agree. Because I think as just not just in Black people, just as in general, you know, we terms of idolize marriage to a point where I actually know what comes with it. But my thing is also what comes with that also is with children, that not only that before I'm making the choice of marrying somebody, also to make the choice of where is she going to bear my seed. You already answered one of those questions. She is bearing your seed right now. You're holding him right now. And, you know, and I'm thinking that to set not only for her example, but for him, is that you would just marry her. I understand the fear of it, of everything that's going on, but I think that's what the Manosphere and other stuff in this media today have basically said, that, well, automatically going to marriage, automatically you're asking for a divorce. That's not necessarily the case. What is that you're not going with marriage with intention, but also priorities and responsibilities, is that you knowing that you're committed to yourself to make sure that you're the best version of yourself, so you can not only be the best husband, but more importantly, the best father, which I know you can be. But what also takes that, when it comes with some of those probably narcissistic traits, comes with humility, which can be eradicated. Narcissism can be true. Like narcissism can't be saved, you know, from those traits and everything like that. And I think it's just really you just fear. And you have some like valid things, I think, as men in general in this age, that we see that, okay, well, I don't want to see the bad side, like divorce, child support, all that stuff. But all that is just a strong man argument. That's just like saying, like I said, like, I don't want to go start a business because I have the risk of losing all my money, but that's why there's only few millionaires, and that's why most people are broke, because you're not taking the risk of what comes with that, making that decision, i.e. giving your love to someone, giving your heart, i.e. giving your seed to somebody. That's what it is. And I think that for you, man, I mean, I believe in you. I mean, regardless of where you're from the chat, like I know you, bro, and I support you, man. But like, I'm saying that you have the ability to not only break the general curse of our community as Black men we've done, like you're holding your future right now. So in order to make sure it's a good one, a steady path, you put a ring on her finger, bro. And I know you can. I know you will.
I want to follow up with what Jedi Mike is saying with a couple of questions here. Let's ask a little bit more about her, Stampidus. Ice Cream Cake wants to know, ask her age, does she earn more, and has she graduated college?
Yeah, so I'm 31 and I don't earn more than him because I am in graduate school right now. So I do have a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, and I'm doing my master's in engineering as well.
Okay, awesome. Stampidus, another question. The Slay Room, actually, a point that they had was, since maybe you felt like you were more oppressed as a child in regards to your relationship with Black women, now you've somewhat taken on the oppressor role because you feel overlooked. Do you think maybe psychologically there's a little bit of hurt and pain that's kind of leading you to act the way that you're acting now in the relationship?
Most definitely. But like my view of, like, you know, when I came on your channel talking about Black women, the reason why I view it the way I view it is because, going back to your earlier example, you're comparing them to the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims, they fought for their independence. Black women have independence. They make more money. They're more educated, yet they're doing nothing with it. So that ties in how I view, like, why I view it the way I view it. So
what do you mean they're doing nothing with it?
What's really stopping them from doing better? You know, your channel promotes them to do better because Black men as a whole. You
do know that their rate of entrepreneurship is literally like 450% higher each year, starting from like 2013, right? So essentially what they're trying to do right now, the reason that Goldman Sachs gave them $10 billion is because they're trying to build the 6-hour dollar circulation in the Black community by starting their own businesses and being their own bosses. That's why they're pushing for education. They're pushing for securing the bag. Black women are doing as much as they can because they ultimately realize that they don't have Black men to turn to. They don't have a community to turn to. They're starting so many businesses that the largest venture capitalism bank in the world is giving them $10 billion as a collective. All right. So you don't get donations like that just for social awareness, right? It's a lot of money. Black women are doing. Black women are doing very well. I think it's a very ignorant thing to say, and quite frankly, I don't know how she can sit here and listen to you say that when you're the exact type of man that's created essentially the statistic that we talk about, right? I don't know how, and I understand that y'all are in a relationship. It's a little concerning when you say things like that, and she just kind of sits there. I think after so long, Stampitis, you might run into an issue, man. But this time you have a child, and this is what we're trying to stay away from, because then you're going to end up being the prototypical, stereotypical baby mother creator, for lack of a better term, and that's what we don't want, right? So I think we really need to start. Absolutely, I think we really need to start walking in a little bit more understanding, and definitely watching the things that we say, especially when there's direct evidence to refute those types of statements. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Black Woman Sisterhood has rejoined. Black Woman Sisterhood, I don't know if you had anything that you wanted to say really quickly, or ask Stampitis before we go on to a couple more users. If you want to come up to the panel and ask Stampitis a question, click the link. You're more than able to come up. Black Woman Sisterhood.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask Stampitis, girlfriend, do you ever feel like maybe he's waiting for another woman? Like, I hate to say this, but I get the sense from Stampitis that he's waiting on a white woman or something, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think that that's the case. And he actually, he's like worse on white women than black women. So.
Believe it or not, I'm a nightmare, especially when they're my tenants and they late on rent. Oh my God. I'm a nightmare, trust me.
All right, sounds good. MJ, you haven't spoken in a while. MJ, Arsenal, I haven't forgotten about you, but you're gonna have to wait, man. MJ, the floor is yours. Did you want to ask Stampitis or Stampitis' girlfriend a question?
Yeah, I wanted to know, was your when you had your child, and congratulations, he's very beautiful. When you had your child, was it planned, or if it was just something that just happened in the midst of your relationship?
You want to answer that one?
No, you go right on ahead.
I mean, it kind of just happened. She really values marriage because of her, religion and stuff like that.
Right.
So it kind of happened for real.
Okay. And just one more question, if you don't mind. Not to get too personal. What happened with your first marriage? Was it like conflict, or was it finances? Was it not being able to reproduce children at a certain time?
I think it was like difference in like goals and maturity. Like obviously she's not here to defend herself, so I'm gonna try and be as down the middle as I can. But me, I can be like kind of condescending and like when I want things done, but I'm about getting it done. Like, but I provided everything. Like I was what you would be looking for in a black man. Like, so, but what happened basically, sorry about that. What happened basically was just like, well, first of all, have you ever been around like people from like Africa and the Caribbeans? Because the way they view Black Americans, that was problem number one. The vast majority of them think they're better than Black Americans. So that was problem number one. And then problem number two, like
Stampitis, where was she from? Was she from the Caribbean?
Yeah, she was from Barbados.
Okay.
So the problem number two was like, I would push her to like do like push her to get her bachelor's, push her to get her first job, like push her to get all this stuff. And like, it's just like me, I wound up dropping out of college, and like it's a lot, but like maturity, I think maturity, and then me being like, I'm a really strict person. I'm really, really strict, but I get things done. I really do.
So Stamp, let me ask you, y'all had a more tumultuous relationship, and she's the one that got the ring, but you have the perfect girl right now, and the perfect girl doesn't get the ring.
Yeah, he's been excited about this.
I've been cooked, like I don't know.
I'm just trying to.
Because look, I agree with you. I'm glad you said
honestly, you better get me cooked.
No, because I've been saying
I'm sorry.
this from day one. All right, if she was so trash, like you claim, and I'm everything that she wasn't.
Oh my God.
Then why is she walking around wearing a ring that you bought?
She's not wearing. Look.
I don't have that.
I don't know. Honest truth, that's a good point. I think it just kind of goes back to just me hesitating a little bit, because like I said, like if it's an experience I hope nobody ever goes through. If you've ever been through that, you do not want to go through that. It's one thing to break up with somebody. It's another thing to actually go through a divorce. And that's all I can say with that.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, we might go ahead and go on for a second. We'll read a couple more questions. Hold on one second, Jedi. Let me read a couple more questions. I just need to trying to get this all together right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for everybody that's been contributing and donating to the channel. If you're enjoying this, make sure that you support the broadcast. Your support means the world. We're able to continue bringing education and good content like this to you. It means the world. This has been interesting, but once again, I'm always thankful that Stan Titus shows up, and it's a special celebration, July 4th. And it's nice to be able to see the family. Family is a beautiful thing. We just hope that the family remains. Let's try and keep it respectful in the comments, y'all. They are human beings, and they are still members of the channel, and so respect is definitely something that we're going to advocate for on this channel. Obviously, we have strong feelings for this. However, we're not going to lower ourselves to the degenerate manospheric men who come and spew hatred and ignorance, condescending, I guess you could say, comments and things of that nature. We're going to be civilized, and we're appreciating them for sharing their story. And it's nice to be able to understand and kind of get a more clear explanation of what goes on in these relationships sometimes, because so often certain blames are placed on certain members of the party. So often men will sit and simply attack and think that it's all the women's fault, that the woman does something wrong, And then we see situations like this where you have such a sweet girl, and so we have a nice guy as well. They just happen to see life a little bit differently, but for the most of us, and for the life of us, we can't necessarily understand certain things. But once again, this is their relationship, it's not ours. We only hope that they can grow and develop into the healthy type of marriage and relationship that we all aspire to have in our community, right? So it's all different experiences in life, and nobody's perfect. So I know I said a whole bunch of nothing there. That was about as clear as mud. That's what my grandfather says. Boy, that was about as clear as mud. So Jedi Mike, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. No, I think everybody would say, I completely agree with the points you're saying. You basically hit the nail on the coffin there. It's just like, and I want like St. Pius look like the past live streams, even this conversation that me and Jonathan had. Like we're talking about, we've had exes in the past, whatever, that we can complain about all day. But the problem is that everybody can change, and now listen to perspective that if I'm holding that to be my future, then I'm already basically writing what's going to happen to me. And I'm just saying, don't have fear basically be controlling who you are. And now, and right. Also, I'm a religious person too. Just like thinking about that. My prayer for you is that, in terms of black men, that, we've lacked courage. Courage doesn't mean you don't have any fear. It's just that you're acting despite that fear. So I don't want to say that you're wrong for having the fear. I'm saying you're wrong for letting that override you over not only, your mindset, but also what's in front of you right now, what you're holding right now, and who's next to you. So that's what I'm saying. I just pray to you, man. It's like, be as black men, what we need to get back to being courageous men, is acting despite that fear. And then I'm telling you that all that, you be having faith and making sure that you as a man doing your due diligence and everything, and making sure that not only that you're obedient, not to just your wife, to your child and everything, but also to yourself, knowing that you're trying to become the best version of yourself, knowing that you won't be corrupted by any toxic ideology or any toxic traits, because then that might be revealed to you, and you already had a marriage that probably didn't go well. Regardless of parties up to blame for that, is whatever's in the past. But if anything, I encourage you to look back at that. Only you can only control you. Look back at the stuff that, okay, this is why I did, even though she did this, but this is why I did. Now she's making sure I don't do that with her. And that's it. And then you keep going that. You're not saying you're not going to fail, you're going to, but make sure you fail forward and learn from your past transgressions, so way that you can be prosperous in your whole family. So that's the thing, because that's the thing a lot of us black men don't do, which is like, nah, all right, I'm not going to do that, because the fear is what we're paralyzed. We're petrified. You're seeing Harry Potter, like, we just stay still. That's what it is. We're not acting as black men as we should be, being courageous. So I encourage you, man, just doing that, man, just making sure, you get your responsibility in check, but also making sure don't let that fear overcloud your mindset. That's what it is right now. It's petrifying you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a great point. So very well said. So very well said. I got to give you a couple shout outs to a couple of Cash App contributors in the chat. Cash App contributors. I got to give you a huge shout out to Shrooms for the $15 super chat. I'm sorry, Cash App, as well as Aaliyah Forever for the $20 Cash App. All the Cash App contributors are very much appreciated. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Stampitis DP and Girl, I know we've had you on for a while, and I know you're kind of fighting, not fighting, the little one, but little ones can take a lot of care and a lot of attention. So I'm gonna let y'all stay on for as long as you'd like, but I'll give you your final words before we kind of start to move on in the panel. And anything else that y'all want to say, we'll start with the lady, and then we'll end with you, Stampitis. And you're welcome to stay on. I'm sure we'll have some more questions later on the stream, or you can leave, whatever you'd like. It's good to have y'all on. But young lady, young woman, forgive me. I'm trying to think of the best respectful way. It was nice talking with you, Miss, and I'm glad that you watch. I'm happy that y'all are happy, and it was really a good time. And so, your final words.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun being on. I do watch every time he watches, and we do watch Jedi Mike's channel as well. We enjoy that a lot.
Nice.
Thank you
Nice.
for having me on Honest Truth, Jedi Mike. I appreciate what you said. I mean, in Honest Truth, you probably gonna get me cooked later, man. But I appreciate you having, and I'm proud of your success, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
No, I appreciate you, Stampitis. I always do, man. Always respectful. That I could say. So until then, y'all take care. I'm gonna put you on mute, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this side screen really quickly. Arsenal God has been waiting for a long time. Arsenal God, I know that you're just raring to go. And thank you for your patience. Arsenal God, the floor is yours. What exactly did you think about the subject matter of discussion tonight? Make sure you unmute yourself, Arsenal God.
Oh, the subject matter. Oh, well, I'm a Kevin Samuels defender here. So I'm here to personally defend Kevin Samuels. I'm here to defend your last week, which I missed. Your last one where you did.
Okay. What would you like to defend?
Well, I watched the show and you took it out of context. Basically,
what did I take out of context?
Well, yeah, he did say a banana split, but he's talking.
The abuse.
I fully back him because I do think that black women need domestic discipline.
Okay, so you believe in
agree with the statement.
Sure.
Because it seems like forget relationships, forget marriages. There's just a general disrespect.
So let me ask you, Arsenal. Let me ask you. Okay, let me ask you, Arsenal. Just pump the brakes. So you believe in domestic dispute or domestic discipline. Awesome. How exactly do you plan on carrying out your domestic discipline? I'd like to hear your game plan. Please enlighten us.
Okay.
So let's paint a situation. Okay. Let's say with this call for domestic discipline, and I want to hear what you would do. You and your girl go out on a date, even though I know you don't have a girl right now. But if just to say you had a girl, you go out on a date.
Well, I do. Well, I do have one.
All right. Well, let's just try. Okay, I'll clear it out. I was wrong. Let's just try and get through the situation. All right. So let's try and get through. All right, Arsenal. Let's try.
Get your facts right.
Arsenal is insufferable at times. Okay, Arsenal. Can you listen to me? Okay. Y'all get home. You had a great dinner. And you say, hey, can you throw my stuff in the washer? Because, obviously I know you'd want her to wash the clothes, right? You want her to be traditional, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she said, honey, can you wash my clothes? She says, well, I'm tired. You need to wash your own clothes. Or can you wash your own clothes? Or, something like that. Would that be worthy of domestic discipline?
They said I could wash my own clothes. I'd wash my own clothes. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Let's take it to hold on. Let's take it to scenario B. You had a great time at dinner, right? Everything went good. Y'all got home, and you said, "Hey, can you throw my clothes in the wash, honey? I got to work tomorrow morning." And she says, "No," or she says, "What do I look like, a maid?" Is that worthy of domestic discipline?
Well, if I'm working and she's at home, and she doesn't want to wash my clothes and don't want to do nothing for me, then she can leave.
Okay. So let me go ahead and ask you then. Hey, I support that.
Force anybody or beg anybody for anything to stay.
Right.
She can leave. Yeah, I never stop a woman from leaving.
Okay, well, hey, I think that's fair. So what situation would warrant domestic discipline in your eyes then? I'm curious. Because here's why I say this.
I'll tell you what the situation is. The situation that warrants domestic discipline is when she thinks that she can start throwing stuff at me. Or that represents domestic discipline.
Arsenal, wouldn't it make sense for y'all to just leave, like you just said? I mean, wouldn't she just leave in that case, or you would tell her to leave? That obviously wouldn't be something conducive to a healthy relationship, right?
Of course it wouldn't be, but
so why in that case?
Hang on a minute, you notice they don't always do what you want. In fact, most cases they don't.
All right, so Arsenal, I had to put you on mute. Why in that case would you advocate for domestic discipline, but in another case of disrespect, you advocate for her just leaving? Why would you not just essentially open the door and say, hey, you know what? It's not working out. I think you should leave. Essentially, what I'm asking you is this. What is domestic discipline going to do to fix something as severe as her throwing or getting physical with you at that point in time? What are you hoping to solve?
Well, look, the law, let's put it this way, yeah?
Okay.
Women rights made women equal. Yeah, women rights they fought to have equal rights. Yeah, so therefore, I don't know what these women were taught, but my sisters were taught that if you hit a man, expect to be hit. Simple. Yeah, I think that's to answer your question.
So you have to fulfill essentially equality. You're giving them the women what they asked for, essentially, right?
Pardon me?
So you're giving the women essentially what they asked for, right? You're giving them the equality that they seek out.
Well, yeah, they've asked for equality, yes. So therefore, equality is anything. Let's use a better example.
So let me ask you.
Let's use a better example. I take a credit card, yeah, and that credit card is £500 a month, and I get £500 credit limit, yeah.
Okay.
I can't turn around there and go and try to pay for something that costs £6,000 because I feel like I should. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. When you sign away and agree to something, and it's embedded.
Right. Okay. I hear you. Okay. So we're kind of getting off the path a little bit. We're kind of getting off the path. Let me ask you a question, Arsenal God. You speak about equality and that, well, you know, if you hit a man, then you have to be expected to hit back. Now let's talk about the hit. Let's talk about the actual punch. You do know that men are stronger than women, right?
Yeah, but I hear.
All right. Let's take it one thing at a time. I know you got a lot to say. So, are you going to essentially judiciously judge the amount of power that you give in a responsive hit to accurately, I guess you could say, measure the level of equality as far as the force goes with you responding with a punch back to her? Are you going to make sure that I don't want to hit her too hard because I want to make sure it's an equal punch? Are you going to make sure that you restrain yourself a bit? I guess I'm asking.
I'm not going. You don't hit a woman. I'm not going to hit a woman like I hit a man. Yeah?
Okay.
Nowhere near. Yeah.
So you're gonna make sure when you're gonna make sure Hold on. You're gonna make sure when you hit her that you don't hit her with all of your force. You're very fair, Arsenal. You're very fair.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I would avoid hitting her. I would probably maybe grab her up.
Okay.
And say but.
So would you grab her? Would you grab her and body slam her? Or would you just grab her and essentially try to put her out the door? And what are you grabbing her for to do essentially?
Well, my mind is to get her out the door. So
okay.
And as well, if I can have it film as well.
So Arsenal, would you consider calling the police at this point, or no? Would you have to take it upon yourself? Would you feel like your life is in danger? Is what I'm asking.
Well, this is the thing. You see, I can talk about a situation because I went to a black woman's house, and then she asked me to basically. This is an experience that happened, and I actually kept myself under control because she took the scissors to me and told me to come in 30 seconds. Yeah.
Right.
Now
Right.
at that situation, I knew I could have hit the hell out of her and I wanted to. But I
Right.
had to think and I had to use my head. So I got myself out of there as quick as possible. I left the drink or whatever. I took my personal
Now
belongings
let me ask you something, Arsenal.
and I
You
left.
did the right thing. So let me ask you something. What
You
do
know
you
what I
think
mean?
would have happened? What do you think would have happened if you went ahead and domestically disciplined her? What do you think would have happened?
She was in her house. So if I'm in a woman's house, it don't matter where it is or what
Well,
time.
let me ask you a question. Do you think that if you're in your house and you hit a woman, that somehow the police are going to somehow say, "Oh, well, it's your house, so it's okay"? Are you saying that the house determines what happens in the outcome
Well,
of a
no.
domestic discipline?
Well, no.
Of course not.
The question.
So I want
Well,
to. I had to stop you here, Arsenal. We're gonna continue to move on because we can't stay on this for too long. But Arsenal, listen, you did the right thing there by not getting physical with the woman. And let me just say that any man that hits a woman, unless she is literally with a knife to your mother's throat, or she has a gun and she's getting ready to shoot you or a loved one, there's no reason to hit a woman. Women, by and large, cannot do a lot of damage to you, to a man that is prepared to fight, to a man that is able to get ready for the blunts, for the blows. Our bodies are built for combat. A woman's body is not. Can women hurt men? Yes. Have they hurt them? Yes. However, in most cases, unless there is severe immediate life threat, meaning you have been stabbed, you are leaking blood, you have been shot, there's no reason to hit a woman's Arsenal. And I'm glad that you didn't, because guess what? If you decided to fulfill your domestic discipline and you hit that woman, you would not be on my live panel right now. All right. So you can believe in the domestic discipline. Go ahead. I encourage you to do it, Arsenal. I think you will
I'm
be.
going to ask you. I'm going to be quick because I'm not here.
All right. I know. Arsenal,
I'm
not
not going to be a long
not now, Arsenal, not now. I know. You go on for a long time. We've had enough. You stay on the panel. We might come back to you. All right. We might come back to you. Arsenal God, he is vibrant. I tell you that much. He is vibrant. So that's domestic discipline there. I'm not sure where exactly he stands, but he doesn't stand alone. I can tell you that much. We're gonna go back to some of our older panel members, and we're gonna kind of talk about what we heard here, and we'll kind of get through everything. Before we do, Alexander Brandon, welcome to the panel, Alexander. The floor is yours. If you can, Alexander, we want to try and make it quick because I have something that I want to say. And so, quickly, what did you think about today's stream and the topic at hand?
And you know what? I believe that you're right on this truth, because there is no reason to hit a woman. And quite frankly, I think Kevin Samuels is one of those men that you talk about. That is, trying to spread, fallacies and stuff like that, and trying to tell black men to hit women and stuff.
Absolutely, Alexander. I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate you always coming back. I want to share a screenshot of 4th of July. One of our members actually sent in. One of our members sent this screenshot in. Happy 4th of July to you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. That is, it's in the north. That's all I can say there. It is in the north. And one of our users, shout out to her, sent that over to me. So I wanted to share that with y'all. It's always good to enjoy the festivities. You only live once, ladies and gentlemen. You only live once. Well, let's go ahead and move this on. 2 hours and 14 minutes. We are at 236 live viewers. It was a beautiful sight. MJ, we haven't come to you in a while, MJ. MJ, what did you think? Well, maybe not necessarily of Arsenal, but I guess you could say the conversation we had with Stampitis as well. Did you have any final thoughts on the entire Stampitis, or did you have any thoughts on the Arsenal situation, or in regards to abuse in general? The floor is yours.
Yeah. So for the Stampede situation, I didn't want to disrespect their relationship because, however, they're both agreed upon it. They're both are accepting of it, but I think that there's a sense of fear in that he's going on the basis of trying to keep control, because he has to keep the control of the relationship to feel that things is moving the way it is. I felt that she wasn't as open as as she could have been because he was there. And I think that's probably just the dynamics of their relationship. So I'm not going to disrespect the relationship. I wish them both the best. It was just a little cringeworthy to me. And as of Arsenal, dear Arsenal, I wish you the best, sir. I really, really do, because a mentality like that is going to put you 6 feet under, okay? And because not every woman out there is going to accept this domestic abuse that you think that is like a rite of passage that you was given, okay? If the woman is allowed to leave the house because she's not giving you what you want or need emotionally, mentally, whatever not, then you have no reason to physically, touch her. So that beats out the reason of having a discipline aspect into your relationship. And mind you, I would just say like this. There's a lot of women like me who are veterans. There's a lot of women like me who are gun owners. All right. There's a lot of women like me who are sharpshooters. Please don't try that with everyone. I wish you the best, sir.
I think that's good advice, Arsenal. I think that's good advice. Thank you so much for that, MJ. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and go to some of the other ladies on the panel. Kier, did you have anything you want to say, Kier, or are you just kind of chilling for now?
Oh, no. No, I had something to say.
Okay, go ahead, Kier.
I would just like everyone to take a good example of what that young lady is going through in her relationship, and please be mindful that we are all Black women on here, and there are several of us, even her age, who would not deal with that relationship. So do not ever from now on categorize us all as quote unquote the same Black women, because I would never put up a relationship like that. Not now, not ever. By year one, if he wasn't talking about marriage, I would have dumped him. So, and I do agree with what MJ said. Arsenal, you treat other women like that, you will, you're going to be quite a few feet under the ground, because I'm not putting up with that. Domestic discipline my ass.
Powerful words, Kier. Powerful words. Powerful words. Thank you, Kier. Let's go ahead and go to Black Women's Sisterhood. Black Women's Sisterhood. Did you have any thoughts on the closing of Stampitis' situation and or domestic violence and abuse, or both? The floor is yours.
Yeah. So when it comes to Stampitis part, I feel like I agree 100% with what the lady said, and I would just hope that he wakes up, soon enough. And then I just kind of thought it was interesting that his wife, that his girlfriend, that she's an American Black woman, but he had the work experience with the Caribbean Black woman, because they always say they compare us to other women in the diaspora as well, and they'll say, "Oh, well, everybody else is so submissive, and you guys are not." So I thought that was interesting. She's very submissive from what I see. And then the second thing I wanted to say was regarding the Arsenal. I've noticed that Black men have a general they have a difficulty de-escalating situations. It's like you don't always have to meet fire with fire. If she's going off and she's hitting you or whatever, just leave. You don't always have to fight. One day me and my sister, we went in Target, and there was this white couple arguing, and the husband, he said, "Okay, I'm just gonna walk away." Right. And he walked away. And me and my sister looked at each other. We said, "Boy, if that was a Black man, he would have been up in here arguing, getting loud." And so that's the only thing I would like to say, is that Black men, they need to get better at conflict resolution and de-escalating situations.
Absolutely. Two great points there. And, to back you up on that last point, we've seen the movies where the white guy has, he does well for himself. He makes a lot of money, and his wife is really B-wordy, or she's really stuck up or really arrogant. And he's not bothered in the slightest, right? He's just like, "Oh, well, it is what it is." He's fine. He's confident. He doesn't fly off the handle at her for saying something or for doing something or for looking him a certain way. If it gets too bad, he'll just distance himself and he'll just find another woman. But never will he have to feel the need to lay hands on her. It doesn't bother him, because he's comfortable enough in his masculinity as a man. He's comfortable enough in his purpose in life. He's doing well enough for himself that he doesn't have to even be afflicted by those types of emotions. When he decides that it's over, it's over. It's a great, great, great comment by Black Women's Sisterhood, one of our channel contributors. Bossy Empress TV, I'm going to let you go. The woman is here. The woman who does not exist to you is here. I remember the entire username this time.
Now you do. Okay. So I just wanted to say that the way Kevin Samuels branded this term of domestic discipline, it's really to rationalize domestic abuse, as we can all agree, unfortunately. And by doing such, it just, you're telling the female supporters, well, for Kevin, like, he's basically telling the female supporters that it is okay for a so-called high value man, if he really is of high value, to put his hands on you if you have a different if you have a difference in opinion. He's not giving like any tools to help couples, like how can I say, like, for those that are in relationships to be civil adults and work out ways on how to resolve things. But
Right.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's just saying, okay, she doesn't do this, or if you tell her jump and see, and she doesn't say how high, or if she just responding to whatever for whatever reason that she disagree with you, regardless if it ruins her mental health or this and that, just put your hands on her. Like, this is a
Absolutely.
bad, terrible message.
And it really goes in line. Thank you so much for that, woman, who doesn't exist to you. It really goes in line with what we've been speaking about today, and that's that you can only persecute and chastise, you can only oppress people for so long before eventually one or two things happens. Either they snap on you or they completely leave you. Just like essentially the reasons why the fireworks are exploding today. The Pilgrims only took so much before they decided to go away and build something for themselves. And so these men don't understand that essentially everything that they preach, everything that they believe in, is only further leading to their demise. They are their own people that they need to save themselves from, and they don't even understand it. They really think that they're actually doing something for themselves, for the community, for the rest of men. They believe as a manosphere that they're doing the greater good of men. And women are sitting back saying, y'all are insane, first and foremost. Secondly, when I do have a man, I know exactly what type of man to stay away from, and that is any type of man that associates himself or watches any of these manospheric content creators. And we've said before, one of the ladies said, I make sure to ask the guys that I date who they watch on YouTube, because I know that by the information they take in, I can tell what type of person they are. By the people, by the type of content that they take in, by the people that they watch and that they embody, that they take advice from, that's going to be who is essentially running their heart, and that's going to be essentially who's implanted their ideological beliefs inside of their mind. And as a result, that type of person is going to follow in the type of fluid thought of the person that they try to emulate, the information that they take in, right? And so I think it's a great point. Ladies who are out there dating, ask the guys that you're in cahoots with or dating who they watch on YouTube, right? That's what they do for entertainment. If it's anything that is revolving around destruction, if it's anything that's revolving around hatred, envy, emotional stunted development, whatever it might be, that's probably somebody that you want to stay away from, right? It's just a good way to vet that question right there. Who do you watch on YouTube? That's a great question. Great question. You can learn a lot from that question. Sherelle with the $10 super chat. Thank you for the donation. Sherelle says, now that I'm more mature, I understand that violence is simply lack of negotiation / communication skills. You call yourself a leader, communicate effectively to resolve the situation. Yeah, absolutely. Violence is definitely that, but violence is also a way to feign control. Right? There's a saying, it's better to be feared than loved, or feared than revered, or something like that, right? Jedi Mike might be able to explain this in a second, but sometimes violence is what's used to maintain order and control. And in the community that has the least amount of order and control, in the community that is the most violent, aka the Black community, it's no surprise to me that a man has grown a YouTube channel nearly to 1 million that jokes about domestic violence, right? And there's a lot of parallels in the message that I say here and how they relate to the Black manosphere and Kevin Scamul's, the fraud father. And that's what we seek here to do, right? Is to just really uncover those truths. Jedi Mike, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, no, I basically know side everything what they're saying. Coming from like my mother, who been like the victim of domestic violence to the point that she still has physical back problems to this day, even after like 20 years later, after being before like she met my father, coming from that abusive relationship. It's just that one thing that when I'm hearing that is, you're right. It's basically giving a toxic abusive behavior trait for narcissistic personalities. So the thing is that there's only two types of people in this world. There's the people who complain about issues and the ones who solve them. And as the men, you always complain about the women's attitudes, a woman about escalating their anger, their rage, and everything like that. But then what you lack personally is the fact of having the emotional control. We have basically that type of demeanor that we have. We are basically giving what you want to coleslaw, blame, white supremacy, the man, the system, whatever for your problems. We're giving him the fuel for basically to use against to oppress our own people to a point where he's not to get out of his seat. We are basically giving the image that black people were violent, that we are angry, we're basically animals, because we're having this animalistic personality where we're just impulsive instead of being calm and collective and assertive. You basically saying, well, okay, a woman can hit me. I'm not saying you should be tolerating abuse. Well, I'm saying you control yourself as a man, have enough self-control. Like, I'm not gonna be hitting anyone. God know that it happens. And in the system that we're in today, I don't care who you are. Like, they would not go in your favor, anything like that, regardless of what happened. So I'm saying for you to have enough control, walk away from the situation, and also be the peacekeepers that I feel that was as black men need to be in our community. So point where we don't have to call police, we don't have to have escalation. We'll be the ones, the true black man is there to calm the situation down. In the relationships, this is what the thing is the fact that the lack of control, like I said, is so addictive to the point when they lose it, that then they lose their minds. So when they lose their minds, they lose control, they lose lack of empathy, sympathy, all the whole nine. And that's the thing, is that this is a consistent spirit that I feel as black men we need to break. And with that type of thing, you're just giving a pass just for abusive narcissistic behavior. That's what I'm saying. It ain't productive. It ain't you being assertive. It ain't being high value. Anything, you're devaluing yourself because you're giving yourself a pass to engage in this impulsive behavior. And that's what I'm saying. That's not masculinity, not in my books.
Absolutely. So well said, John. I might completely agree. Alex says the most beautiful thing a man can say is "Who's that?" when you mention Kevin Samuels and other kittens. My boyfriend was like, quotations, "Is he straight?" when I sent him the video of Kevin Samuels. That is a wonderful thing to hear, especially as a woman. I can imagine. Cassie A says, I stopped talking to a guy because he liked Kevin Samuels, and we had a discussion on why I tried pointing it out. It was hateful towards women. He didn't get it. And sometimes it's like that, but I'm glad that you found out now, Cassie. It's good to walk into the situations and situationships sometimes in 2021 with these questions on the table. Sometimes maybe even at the first dinner, at the first date. Hey, do you know who this guy is? Hey, what do you listen to on YouTube? You can save a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, and a lot of time and money in a lot of cases. We're in a new age right now. We are in a new age. China Ming says, how is there a power struggle when black men have no power? That's a very good point. And this is where you always hear the quote or the old adage, you give them an inch, they take a mile, right? That was started to essentially describe people who don't have any power. When they do find a sliver of power, they take the full mile length amount. They take it the distance. They take as much as they can because they've never really had power before. I liken it to a fast food manager. We said this before. If you're working at a fast food joint, you've always had that one manager that just is on you and on you and on you and on you, and they make you do everything right. And you can never do anything wrong. They never joke around. They're always hard on you. You walk in a minute late, and they're writing you up, and you're like, for what? I make minimum wage. Why are you harping on me so much? Moreover, if the managers actually decided to be human and treat you with some respect, with some decency, like a human being, they don't even know that the workers will work 10 times harder for them. But since they never understood what power is, the responsibility that power brings, how to judiciously actually delegate themselves in power, how to judiciously manage those who are under your power, under your leadership, they will continually be looking for new people to hire and then claim, oh, well, everybody's lazy. All teenagers are lazy. I can't find anybody to work a shift under me anymore, when they don't even realize that it's their failure to lead. It's their failure to walk in their own power that leads them to their own self-afflictions, right? But of course, it's everybody else's fault. Who do we hear that from all the time, right? It's a great comment there. Great comment. Let's read a couple more comments. Queen Mercy says, bless you, Jedi Mike. Absolutely. I saw a comment up. I'm trying to find it. It was a good comment. I cannot find it now. Oh, well, we'll come back to it in a little bit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we are 2.5 hours in. This is a holiday night. We've been going for a good amount of time. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. I got a couple things to do. Eat my can of tuna. I'm on a diet. Eat my can of tuna with hot sauce and croutons. Lost a good amount of weight, but I want to thank everybody that joined us for this July 4th special. I hope that you got something out of that. I meant to keep it a little bit more lighthearted, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. I'm going to bid everyone a good night. Usually we do final words, but we're going to wrap it up soon. So I just wanted to say good night to everybody who joined the panel. I appreciate y'all for being on. It's always an honor. And so I'm going to take people down. I hate taking people down, but just know that I love you when I take you down. All right. The woman who does not exist to you. Thank you so much. Jedi Mike, always a pleasure, Jedi Mike. MJ, always a pleasure. We're going to see you again soon, MJ. Alexander Brandon, always a pleasure, Alexander. I took down the wrong one. Sorry. Arsenal, it's always an experience, Arsenal. I'll say that, definitely. And Kiera, definitely last, but most definitely not least either. I fudged that up. It's hard to think of things to say on the fly really quickly. Okay, Vice says that tuna hot sauce and crouton diet. Yeah, it's doing well for me. I was like, okay, let me lose a couple little pounds, and I'm in my cutting / bulking phase right now. This angle makes my arm look so small, so I'm kind of sad for it. But if you like switch it around, like my arms are pretty good size, right? My arms aren't too bad. You see them right there. Hold on, my arms are actually pretty decent size, but from this angle, it looks like like I'm a little shrimp. So the diet's going good. The diet's going good. Chinese, she said Chinese food diet. Absolutely. I hope that y'all enjoyed. Stop, Queen Mercy. I hope that y'all enjoy the stream. It's been an honor to be with you here again. Thank you to all contributors, to all donators. Let me check the Cash App really quickly. If you did donate and I didn't read your name, forgive me. Oh, thank you, Angela. We had another donation from Angela. She sent $20 on Cash App. Thank you, Angela, for the $20 Cash App donation. Y'all have always taken care of me. It's been that way for a couple months now, and I thank you for that. We're going to be back in a couple of days. We got a couple of new topics that we're going to be discussing, maybe a little bit different from our usual, but aligned with the statistics stream. We're going to start kind of switching over to a different tone. Nah, not necessarily. It's going to be the same tone that we always talk in. What am I saying? Who am I kidding? We'll be back with our fire here in a couple of days. Preface and a reminder as you go about this new work week starting tomorrow. Take it easy on yourself, right? Enjoy the festivities. Maybe go out tonight and talk about the fireworks at a bar. Maybe watch a new show on YouTube or on Netflix that you didn't think that you'd take interest in, right? Switch it up a little bit for yourself. We only live one time. No need to take everything too seriously. We all have something that we can do for ourselves while we're here, right? So I want to thank once again everybody for joining me tonight. I know these ends can be long-winded. I got a comment last time that said this is the preacher's ending. Preacher always says, I gotta get 5 more minutes. Can I get 5 more minutes, saints? Raise your hand if I can get 5 minutes. Everybody raises their hand, right? I've said this before. The preacher says, all right, 5, 10, 15, 20. It just goes on and on and on, right? Y'all are the best. We do have a Discord. Let me get the Discord link for us really quickly. If you'd like to continue the conversation offline, then join our Discord. Post every so often. Some are very, very, very active in the Discord. I'm not that active in the Discord, so if you're looking for me to speak to me directly, send me a direct message. And when I do get onto the Discord, I'll definitely add you and speak to you on the Discord. That's the Discord link there in the live chat. If you'd like a consultation, email me at thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. If you have any business opportunities, you want me to advertise, whatever it might be, thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. I want to thank our channel sponsors, Mystic Tone, Instagram.com/Mystic Tone, as well as Unique Boutique Candles. Unique Boutique Candles has constantly been supplying us with the best fragrances that money can buy, with the best scents that money can buy. UniqueBoutiqueCandles.com in the live chat. Mystic Tone for the best bath bombs, bath soaps, natural scrubs that money can buy. I hope that our winner of the white Mystic Tone surprise giveaway box is enjoying it right now. I don't know if she's come back yet, but I assume that she's probably in the hot tub. She's probably in the tub right now with her natural sugar scrubber, enjoying her July 4th evening. This is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, I cannot sing. I sang a little bit earlier, Alex. I'm going to do it next stream, I promise. Next stream I'm going to sing. I got to practice. I'm rusty. I got to practice, y'all. I got to practice for sure. I love you all. Y'all take care. We'll be back in a couple of days. I'm planning on Tuesday. I'll see you then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, Glitches, I see you in the background, Glitches. Glitches, Glitches, we're gonna have to wrap this up for now, Glitches. I'm sorry. I saw you in the chat. We had a good amount of time, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, y'all take care. I love you. Happy July 4th. The metaphorical war continues, and it's only gonna get bigger and better for us. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. It's only just begun. Good night.